Welcome, everyone. I am Peter. I'm joined by Matt over there. And
Another
unfortunately,
fine mess I've gotten ourselves into.
this was all Matt's fault. So
This is
we
my fault.
we did a stream where we raised some money for charity, and the thing we had to do for the audience for hitting the goals that were put out was to record a commentary track for Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, the ultimate edition, the 3 hour cut of this. And so we're going to do that. We've got it paused at 0. I'll explain properly once the movie's rolling. Let's not make this any longer than it has to be.
No.
Hopefully I'll sync this up so the timer on the screen will match what the movie is, at least within a second, and you'll be able to keep in sync with us as we go. So it's going to be quite simple. I've got it paused at 0. I'm going to count down 3, 2, 1 and press play. And then if you press play, if you're also paused at 0, you'll be in sync with us, and that'll be how we go. So here we go. 3, 2, 1, play. And Warner Brothers logo.
I just want to let everyone know this is my second time watching this version because I hate myself.
Yes, yes. Oh, the corporate DC logo with the peel back that's been gone for a
Yeah.
while now. Fancy
Oh
that.
boy, we're about to have to watch the Waynes get murdered again. I just remembered.
Yeah, I've never seen this cut. I have not seen this movie since opening night. I saw it in the theater. I never saw the ultimate cut.
Oh
And
boy.
I have forgotten to put on subtitles. And this app will pause if I put on subtitles, so I'm just going to have to
uh,
roll with it.
yeah.
That's my bad.
Uh,
I'm just going to get further away from the screen and turn it up. That's my plan.
Here it comes. The thing that frustrates me about Snyder is I don't particularly hate his framing
Mm-hmm.
or that. The choices he chooses to make with the characters in the story just annoy me to no end. Starting a Batman v Superman movie with Batman's origin, which everybody knows, just is one of those ones where it was like we didn't need to do this.
It's not
We
the
get
movie
you.
for it. Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
like Batman Begins. No one complains about Batman Begins showing the
No.
origin because it's called Batman Begins.
Yes. Oh, I forgot Holly Hunter was in this.
Oh no, yeah, she's the one who gets the jar of piss. How can you forget that?
Yes. Because I tried to forget this as much as possible. Yeah. Jenna Malone. Who is Jenna Malone in this?
Oh, isn't she Barbara Gordon? Because I never saw her, but because she
Yeah.
wasn't in the theatrical cut. But I think that's what it was.
Oh, also here's the first thing. Uh, Thomas Wayne getting gunned down because he tried to take a swing at a guy with a gun instead of throwing himself in front of his young child and wife. Yes, this is the world we are now in. Oh, there go the pearls. Oh, ow.
I
Oh,
forgot that they literally had the gun holding the pearls.
yeah, yeah. He's falling in slow mo.
But well, Zack Snyder, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, you
Oh,
weren't here for the
jeez.
live Snyder Cut watch. Connor went through
No.
that pain. Uh,
So did his liver.
so there was so much slow motion. It became
Yeah.
this gag like 10 minutes in. Like, wait, how short would this movie be if all the slow motion was just regular speed?
45 minutes.
Now, to be fair, a
Uh,
website worked it out. It would have only shortened it by about 30 minutes, which
okay.
isn't much in the grand scheme of things, but
No.
it, you know,
Uh, Also, a complete waste of Lauren. That's Lauren Cohan, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I like her as an actress. She just basically gets to be brutally gunned down in the worst way possible. Uh, oh, the pearls.
In fact, I remember quite vividly the moment because I mean, not that what we've seen already was particularly good, but the moment where I got worried when I saw this in theaters is about to come up. It's as the thing is about to come up. It's when he starts floating up the well with the bats around him,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh no, what what is this movie? Oh no 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 no!
Oh boy.
I believe they're doing a they're doing a 4x3 release of this soon to match Justice League.
You're kidding, right?
No, apparently they're doing the IMAX like ratio version, and
Uh,
but this is two
Wait,
point
is
three
this
five to one, so it makes me wonder, like,
okay?
how how much is it all just going to be extra at the top and bottom, or is it going to be a bit more of a
Well,
combination?
see, you're an aspect ratio master. I'm watching this on Max, and I have the box around everything. It's not as egregious as Justice League, but then again, I watch Justice League on my
Well,
TV, not on my
yeah,
iPad.
that's because it's an iPad, and it's
Yeah.
so basically it's presented to you in a 16:9 video, so you're getting bars from your iPad to account for
Okay.
that, and then you're getting bars within 16:9 for the actual movie ratio.
Gotcha.
Uh, it's 235. At
Oh,
least the version I'm watching is 235
gotcha.
or 239 if you want to get super nitpicky and technical.
Yeah. Oh, there's the now we have to get more trauma.
To, to, to,
Movie
to,
called
to be
Batman v Superman.
to be completely
Yeah.
fair, I actually think this scene of Bruce going around Metropolis while all the destruction's happening is maybe the
Like,
best scene in the movie.
I mean, sure, I do like what it means for him that he's rushing towards danger, you know. But to me, that's a Superman thing, and Snyder willfully does not have Superman do anything, so he can set up this conflict. Uh, but I still hate the concept of Gotham and Metropolis being sister cities across a bay,
Oh sure, yeah,
like
oh, yeah. I mean,
San Fran and Oakland.
when I
You
when I
know.
when I talk about this being a good scene, I'm not even talking about anything like that.
Hmm.
I'm talking purely about this is a
Character.
Bruce Wayne who cares, and he's
Yes.
trying to do the right thing. He's not just consumed with hatred for
Hmm.
fairly forced reasons, so we can have the
Right.
fight. Uh,
Right.
it's trying to do its best at sort of setting up why he is so apprehensive, shall we say,
Hmm.
of Superman. Like there's stuff here.
Hmm.
This made me think, oh, maybe this movie will be okay. Because after the floating in the the well, I was like,
Yeah.
oh. And then this scene, I was like, oh, maybe it won't be too bad. And obviously,
Uh, just the wanton destruction of Metropolis. Yeah, get that 9/11 imagery in there. But to be fair to Snyder, that was a lot of movies in this era. You know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I went on a rant during the Snyder Cut and then the review of the Snyder Cut about his nihilism and
Hmm.
how every single movie he's made, like there's a
Hmm.
lack of human heart and emotion at the center of it.
Yeah.
Uh, and whenever there is,
Which,
like, whenever it pretends to have any, it tends to come across very cynically.
yeah, 100%. Because in the Justice League and the Snyder cut with Cyborg and just how different that was from the theatrical cut. Um, Although it's a cyborg that is just miserable, and I understand, but it's not a fun watch. You know, like it is very nihilistic.
Yeah. Oh, it's funny you picked that specifically because that's the one thing most people think is much better than the Snyder Cut is the
Oh
cyborg
no,
story.
it is better. But I don't want to watch it. I don't have fun watching it, which I don't is not the intent. You know. Oh boy. The more of the religious stuff, which we got hand over fist in Justice League. So at least he's consistent from version to version. You
I
know,
mean, yeah,
this
he's consistently Zack Snyder, unfortunately, but I mean, it is
yeah,
consistent at least.
yeah.
I mean, I will say I didn't hate the perspective of like watching what the heat vision was doing from
Yeah.
outside. That was at least
Oh,
a neat shot.
yeah.
Uh,
I mean, this is almost the inverse of what I kind of wanted, where you get the human perspective in Metropolis, but in that I always wanted Superman to go back and try to fix things, and we never got that. And instead, here we have Bruce running into danger. You know, um, so again, I get it. He's setting up a dichotomy. As a Superman fan, I hate that dichotomy.
well, that's because it's a little bit. I mean, Batman should always be apprehensive at first because he's Batman. That's just who he
Yeah,
is, right?
right.
But the thing is that Superman in Man of Steel and then further extension into this film, he doesn't have like that care to help everyone that Superman typically has. So he's basically been altered so that this dichotomy can exist, so that Bruce,
Yeah.
because a lot of this justifies why Bruce is so
Mhm.
like, because Superman didn't come back and help, and all he
Right.
sees in Metropolis is people dying and almost dying and destruction.
Mhm.
He doesn't see heroics. He doesn't see Superman being a
Well,
savior.
and neither really do we, which we'll
No,
get to. You know, 2 hours, later
yeah,
from now.
no one does that.
Uh,
That's one of the biggest problems I have with the end of Man of Steel
Yep.
is that he kisses Lois Lane in a mass grave in the middle of Metropolis, and there's like no like the only people who see it are like Perry,
Mhm.
Jenny Olsen or whatever she was, and a
Yeah.
couple other random characters. Like millions of people have died, and almost no one has witnessed that Superman won the fight that potentially saved more
No.
lives.
Oh boy. There he goes, just crashing the buildings. So who really
Dun
though?
dun dun
Who has
dun.
the bigger body count? Godzilla or Superman?
If you compare it to the MonsterVerse Godzilla from the new films,
Uh-huh.
I would say
Uh-huh.
Superman might have the higher body count still, even after Godzilla
Yeah,
vs
that's
Kong.
what I'm thinking.
I mean, before Godzilla
That's what
vs
I'm thinking.
Kong, definitely, but
Yeah.
after, still probably.
Yeah.
I
See, I don't remember the scene. Um,
I vaguely remember. This is the thing. I left the theater very upset when I
oh
saw
yeah.
this.
Oh yeah.
I don't think I've ever been as just like angry and ready to rant as I was when I left the theater for Batman v Superman.
Yeah, I could remember if I shut my garage door and contemplating leaving halfway through to make sure. But then I thought, oh, my neighbors are cool. They'll they'll keep an eye on it for me. Uh, what is going on here? Again, I know I've seen this more times than you, but I have less recollection of it. I feel. Is
Apparently,
this how we get introduced to Kryptonite? Yeah, there it is.
it's the meteor rock from Smallville.
Yeah. Oh boy, this scene.
Oh yeah, Jimmy Olsen's about to die.
Yeah, for no reason needs to be named Jimmy Olsen. In Nairobi, which I'm pretty sure is a fake place. If it's not, I apologize. Um, but it sounds like a combination of Cairo and Nairobi. Daredevil?
My what Daredevil? What?
No, he's given me. Who's the actor that played Daredevil?
Ah,
Charlie.
Charlie Cox.
Yeah, there we go. I'm getting Charlie Cox vibes with the glasses.
Uh,
Oh, see, it's such a waste of Amy Adams as Lois. Not as wasted as Justice League, but you know
where
what I
we
mean.
she just sits around like Bella Swan and mopes for 3 hours,
Yes,
and
because
then
again, I feel like their relationship only lasted, 2 months, if that. So I know
I,
this said 18 months,
yeah,
but you know,
this movie would be irrevocably improved if all the cast were replaced from actors from Parks and Rec. I'm just imagining Amy Poehler and Adam Scott being the ones who just get the bags put over their heads, and
mhm. Who's Superman then?
uh,
Just make him Andy.
Jerry Superman.
Oh no.
No,
Oh,
actually, do you know who's Superman? The literal Superman. Chris, right? Is it Chris? Not Chris.
Chris Traeger.
Trigger, yeah, Trigger. Because he literally is going
That's
to live
really
to 150. Yeah.
yeah. Literally an alien. Now there's a fun thing. The guy with the sunglasses, who's also in I forget which Marvel movie. He's supposed to be KG Beast. If you look in the cast list,
Oh,
it's the
really?
same. Yeah, but I pinned that more to Goyer on the script. Um,
It's like an Easter egg that they don't actually
yeah,
show enough to let anyone get the
no,
Easter egg.
not at all.
Not that I think it
Um,
should be stuffed with Easter eggs necessarily. Like it's fun to have some of them, but
no, it is, but at the same time, it would be cool if he gets a name drop. Like I shouldn't have to dig through the Internet Archives, you know, to figure out who this actor is because I recognized him in something else. Uh-oh. Also, how cool would this have been if this was Kondak? Speaking of Easter eggs, just name it that. You know.
that's a good question. It's a good question. I'm realizing that I'm like way out of frame here because
Uh
I'm not paying attention to the video side of
oh.
things. Um, does this end up happening? For
Yeah.
reasons. Obviously, we're talking over the movie here, so catching the
Yeah.
nuances of the dialogue aren't going to be something that we're going to be doing throughout this viewing. Everyone, just in case. I can already sense the comments saying you're not paying attention to the movie. Well,
Yeah. Well, paying attention enough.
more than it deserves.
I just. Then there goes Jimmy Olsen.
That's Jimmy Olsen.
For,
Superman's pal,
for
Jimmy
no
Olsen.
reason. Signal watch. This would have been a cool time for the signal watch. And we could have seen Superman actually save somebody.
He well, what's funny is he saves Lois in a minute, but when he does it, he effectively kills someone.
Bulldozes a man through a concrete wall.
Multiple concrete walls, if I recall. I mean, it's been a while,
Multiple.
admittedly. It's been a while,
Yeah.
so maybe I'll be mistaken. But
Yeah.
I remember thinking it was multiple walls. I'm like, that guy, if he's not dead, he's paralyzed for life.
Yes. You make this the League of Shadows. I don't know. There's fun things to do, but I remember that Zack Snyder really doesn't care for fun as
Well,
far as superheroes are concerned.
I don't care about adding anything. I don't care about making any of these things anything from DC Comics. All I care about is actually having the characterizations of Superman and Batman.
True, true, but at least give me something a little bit fun. You know, this is just my nerd brain working.
This is a
Oh,
Superman. This is the first ever movie where Superman and Batman are going to be on screen together, and we have people just
yeah.
gunning each other down
Yeah. Oh,
like this.
and
This
one of
is.
them's not even Batman yet.
But call me crazy. I don't know. This feels like it's. I mean, I think this cut is technically R-rated. This version, but I
Yeah.
don't know how much of it this part of it's changed from the
Right.
theatrical. I don't remember it being that different. But
Wait, is he KG Beast or Killer Moth? I can't remember at this point. But I'll give Man of Steel credit where Lois Lane isn't played completely as a damsel in distress. Yet, how far are we into this movie? And that's exactly what she is. A little bit reductive for me.
I mean, we're only 17 minutes in, Matt. Brace yourself.
Yeah, yeah. Oh man. Yeah.
How does Zack Snyder make it look so dark in broad daylight in the desert?
It's yeah. Also, 17 minutes. We haven't really seen Superman yet.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah. This is a Superman that loves explosions.
It's a shame he didn't show up in time to save like literally any of the people who just got shot to death.
Right. Uh-oh.
And why does he look so evil? Why has he got a skull on his face?
For the nightmare. That's why. We can't trust the alien who was raised by simple farmers.
Yeah, multiple walls.
Yep, there he goes. There's nothing left. That man was turned to dust.
Yes.
That is him right now. Like that they're walking through.
So I mean, this is not even the worst example of it. Like later on, there's a montage where Superman looks suicidal as he's saving people because it's such a burden, which is just so.
Yeah.
Like I remember once on the internet, someone said when I said it looked like it's a burden, and someone responded with, "Well, wouldn't it be?" And I'm like, "Yeah, for us mere mortals, he's freaking Superman.
Right.
He's fictional."
And that's always like in a Batman Superman movie. I always like the dichotomy, right? That Batman's proactive, which makes him more like a law officer, right? Whereas Superman's reactive, who's more like a firefighter. Now, I understand that firefighting in law enforcement can be difficult, but these are jobs people still sign up for. you
What's
know.
that? I mean, on top of
So
that, one of the things you just said there is that I don't know if there is a part of the problems with this movie. One of the fun
yeah,
things about putting Batman and Superman together. Now, admittedly, his Batman's off in this as well because he's killing
mhm.
people left and right and everything else.
We'll
But
get there.
but one of the fun things about Batman and Superman being thrown together is that you have this contrast of this happier, cheerful, upbeat Superman character with Batman who's dark and gritty. This movie just brings Superman down to dark and gritty to make them even. So there's nothing interesting about them clashing. There's no
No,
difference.
no, not at all. You know, the whole light and dark of them, like even the concept of the twin cities of Metropolis and Gotham, where, you know, in the original comics, Metropolis was meant to be the city in the daytime and Gotham was the same city at night. We're not going to get any of that, you know, because the creative team here doesn't care.
Yeah, I mean, it basically just sums it up. I just hate Snyder's characterization of Superman. I
Yeah.
despise it with every fiber of my being. Was
Want to know who the Metropolis football team is?
that a Nixon thing someone just held up in the football game? I just saw someone in the crowd hold up like a poster, and it looked like Nixon, like waving to the crowd. Oh, that's a weird thing to hold up.
That's a very weird thing.
Did Zack Snyder forget that he wasn't making Watchmen anymore? Is that what
Yeah.
happened?
Or in this version, Nixon still's president. Wow, they got the ESPN logo there. That's strange, being that they're a Disney
Uh,
entity.
I would rather they make up their own fake DC one.
Me too. That's one of the things I
But
love about DC.
do like
Oh, here we go.
ES52 Sports or something. I don't know.
Hmm. Their version of the Ocho.
Yes. Oh my! I completely forgot that Batman brands people in this.
Yeah.
It's because it's coming up, and I just realized. Yes, right. He literally brands people with a branding iron, because
Yeah.
Batman.
That's,
This is actually a psycho.
yes. That's much more of a Ra's. This is a Batman if he never rejected Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah.
Right?
Also, like I feel like in this movie they still kind of act like Batman's like a myth, but he's meant to have been operating for so long that he's already went through multiple Robins. Like, pick one. Pick one.
Yeah. I always like to think he went through multiple Robins on purpose because he was using them as human shields. You know?
Now I'm just thinking of that stupid nightmare scene at the end of the Snyder cut, and I'm mad again.
Oh God. And how terrible that. Easily the worst part of that movie.
Oh, easily.
Easily.
The movie was surprisingly just really mediocre for the most
Yeah.
part. And then that scene hit me, and then everything I hate about Snyder's DC movies just came rushing at me in one scene.
In one 5-minute span.
It was concentrated Snyder, and I hated it.
Which sucks because I don't mind the Luthor and Slade tag. That's not terrible. Because
No.
it actually feels like something
I
tangible.
I didn't even realize, but the dialogue in that scene was different from the theatrical cut.
Yeah.
I didn't even notice when I was watching it, because in the theatrical cut it was basically just, oh, let's build a league of our own. So it was just, Injustice Society kind of set up, or Legion of Doom, whatever. Whereas in the Snyder cut, it was like, hey, Batman's Bruce Wayne, by the way. So,
which was supposed to set up the Ben Affleck Batman movie.
I guess, yeah. I'm not crying over the loss of that.
No, me neither. Especially with the Matt Reeves one, right at our doorstep.
Yeah,
well, maybe not down. It's down the street, not quite at the doorstep.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, trailer was solid. I like the take on it, and I like Matt Reeves as a director. Where I
me too.
I mean, admittedly, Ben Affleck's Batman was going to be his movie as well as a director.
him hanging on the wall like it's tour day at the CrossFit gym will never not make me laugh.
I love how it's super serious and like, it's trying to be the most violent Batman we've ever had, and then it does that to introduce him.
Yeah.
On the corner of the
first time you see him in the movie, he is holed up on the wall like he is possessed.
It's like remember River and Serenity when how she would sort of like be up in the ceiling or something. It was like that, but without any of the grace. It was just this big bulky, like Ben Affleck up in the corner.
I wish he'd yelled boo.
Oh dear.
Man.
Oh, hey, she has the same apartment as she did in
Yeah.
Justice League, because I just recognized the hallway. Because that's when
Yeah.
Martian Manhunter appeared for no reason.
Yeah.
And ruined an otherwise okay scene that showed that Martha and Lois were bonding.
Yeah. Somehow. Which was it, Martha? It was
Yeah, I mean,
Thanos.
that's the point, is that
Yeah.
because at least, okay, the idea that Martha and Lois would connect after Clark's death
Right.
is interesting, but you took it away. You took it
Right.
away and said no, it was never her. So, like, have Martha and Lois ever even spoken to each other? Then, for real?
Not probably since the funeral, right? Like,
Yeah, yeah, some.
uh, what?
Right, hold on a second. I'm no ballistics expert, but
No,
isn't this bullet here, like, isn't that supposed to be all smushed because it's been fired?
you would think, and it wouldn't get caught up in his clothes because it should just bounce off of him, right?
Well, no, not if it's not. Well, it is Kryptonian material. You're right. That's a good point.
Right.
But it depends. I mean, different versions of Superman will handle that differently. Usually,
Right.
most often they'll say it bounces off his outfit just so he explains why they never have to do bullet holes. It's more of a
Right.
it's more of a reason to not do certain things from a technical standpoint than it is
Right.
story.
It's why his cape tends to get more ripped,
Yeah,
versus his uniform.
but clearly this is telling us that. Uh,
Yeah.
Unless was that her
Yeah.
book?
In which one?
Like the book that was hit, was that her book instead?
Oh,
Was she shot and that the book saved her? Pretty good book
yeah.
if it is.
Oh, man, it's such a waste of Henry Cavill because he looks like Clark Kent should.
Oh, your mic's going, I think, Matt. Try and catch it early.
Uh-uh.
For people tuning in who don't usually listen to the comics podcast, Matt's mic does this thing every once in a while
It,
that we have to
it goes
catch.
rogue. Tries to turn me into Brainiac. I have to fight it off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why does this look so dull? Look at the color grading in this scene. It's so miserable looking.
This is a couple that's going through a divorce, not a
Yeah, that's what
couple
it
that
feels
loves
like.
each other. Yeah.
It feels like a dark relationship drama right now.
It's just
Until he gets in the water.
Clark Kent and Lois Lane in Blue Valentine. Someone's gonna have to clean that all up.
He's got super speed.
Yeah. That was a joke. It's too crass. I'm not gonna make, but you know.
About finishing quickly? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I was gonna say super speed. That's how it's. Yeah. I was looking playing. I don't understand that scene, but we were talking over most of it, so that's on me. You know.
I mean, it's a commentary track. We're supposed to talk over.
No, I know, but I was gonna complain like, why is that scene there? And I'm sure if I listened to it.
Oh yeah, sure, yeah.
So this I feel is one of the bigger wastes. Is I love Jeremy Irons' Alfred. He was the high point of the Justice League cut for me. Because he's sassy Alfred, and viewers to the comic show will realize that I love sassy Alfred
I
more than
mean,
most things.
Alfred's one of the few characters in this movie that comes out not feeling like he was assassinated, like
Yeah.
character assassinated.
Mm-hmm.
Because Batman, I feel, is completely out of character.
Yes.
Superman, I feel, is completely out of character. I wouldn't say Lois is out of character, but unfortunately, the movie just, I don't think, gives her anything interesting to do. She's still kind of
No.
just mopey, and Lois. I think of Lois as having a fire in her, right? Yeah, I think of
Yes.
Lois as being someone who is a go-getter, who, and this version of Lois is very quiet and somber, and it's very different to what I think of Lois. Don't get me wrong, it's not quite the character assassination that a lot, Superman, Batman, and
Mm-hmm.
Lex Luthor all get, because they all get
Right.
absolutely, torn apart.
Torn to shreds. Yeah. No, her Lois, like that's what I give credit in Man of Steel. Whereas I feel she has that fire. She gets herself into trouble in the way that Margot Kidder's did. In the Donner movie.
I just watched Superman 78
Mm-hmm.
on Sunday, so this is a bad time to be watching this because the comparison is not going to do it any favors.
No.
There's a moment there's a moment I was watching it, right? Because I was watching it on stream because I've got a
Yeah.
new format that I want to pilot, so I was
Oh.
watching that for that. But there's a moment where after he's hit the whole "Can you read my mind?" flying or
Mm-hmm.
around scene, right? Where then Clark shows up at the apartment as Clark for
Mm-hmm.
their date, and she has to go to the bathroom to like get something. And there's just this moment where he takes off the glasses and his stature, like he completely changes his stance as he takes the glasses off. They gave me chills because I'd forgotten about that moment, and the
Mm-hmm.
performance is so good.
Yes. Well, that's Christopher Reeve. That's Richard Donner. That's the whole method of him like changing his posture as
Mm-hmm.
Clark versus Superman. It's all subtle, which is the thing that we don't get in this.
Do you know what?
As we talk about Lex Luthor.
It, just on that before we start talking about this Lex,
Yeah.
it's not it's subtle until he actively changes it in one shot,
Mm-hmm.
and then all of a sudden it feels incredibly
Right.
unsubtle. And that's what's so
Right.
beautiful about it is once he shows it up, once he sort of draws your attention to it, you're like,
Mm-hmm.
oh well, you're doing a lot. You're doing a lot to pull this off, and we didn't even
Yeah.
notice. It's really good. Anyway, yeah, this the idea for this Lex to be like this, to be the Jesse Eisenberg is
I so
like because I don't
I
necessarily
don't mind the idea of it. I hate the execution of it because
sure.
m- modern Lex Luthor being a tech bro that is playing basketball, right? I don't hate. I just don't think they pull it off. I feel he should be a little bit likable until that door shuts, and Eisenberg is never likable.
Well, I think the problem is that it's not even just that; it's just the characterization. Lex
Mm-hmm.
is supposed to just be a crazy man, which is what I think
Right.
this Lex comes across as. He doesn't come
Right.
across as someone who is a genius and a strategic mastermind.
Mm-hmm.
Lex typically will be jealous of Superman because he's no longer the most important man on the planet, which is what he sees himself as, effectively.
Right. Right.
Uh,
Which is always my favorite characterization of Lex is
yeah.
he could have been a hero, but chose to be the villain because he was he's that petty towards the people of Metropolis.
But here he comes across as this neurotic,
Yeah.
absolute nut job, and we're not even getting to the
No.
candy scene or the jar of piss shit. And
Yeah.
he's already so wacky and eccentric in the way he's portraying this character. He is very Jared Leto. He belongs with Jared
Mhm.
Leto's Joker, and bizarrely, they kind of fit each
But
other like a
that's the whole
glove.
thing is. But that's the whole thing. If you have this version of Lex Luthor, how far do you have to go with Jared Leto's Joker? Because they shouldn't be the same. Like, I always love that Luthor never trusts Joker and Joker never trusts Luthor, right? Because they are those polar opposites.
Oh,
And
here's the candy scene. I forgot about
yeah,
this. Uh, continue. What are you saying?
no, just that they should be polar opposites, and they're not here. Um, this isn't even really Lex Luthor. This is a different. Had they decided to make this Lex Jr. and had just that little tweak, I don't know. It drives me nuts because I was 100% about Eisenberg as Luthor and defended it, and then the movie came out and I felt so dumb. Oh jeez.
I forgot about this over the top music.
Yeah.
And context is everything because I can see a
Yeah.
scene with a traditional Lex Luthor where he's
Mm-hmm.
coming to he's walking out of a press conference after making the press convinced to hate Superman, and
Yeah.
this music plays as he walks back to his limo, and I can see the music working in that context.
Mm-hmm.
Here, it's just coming off as silly because they've not earned anything with this Lex as of yet. But I mean, it, like I will say this though, like Superman and Batman, as much as I think they're wacky, drawn so out of
Mm-hmm.
character, I don't think they fit who they're supposed to be at all. I don't think they're necessarily miscast. Henry Cavill, in particular, I think is a fine choice for
Yeah.
Superman, but
I even think
he doesn't get a chance to play it. I think Jesse Eisenberg is horribly miscast.
yes. I can see that. I even like Affleck as Batman. I mean, for all his faults in the character, I don't think him as this older grizzled Batman. I think it fits. Um.
Yeah, I think he's got
Uh,
potential. I don't know if like he gets a chance in these movies to show that he can do it because he comes
right.
across as a little bit, I don't know, low energy. I find
Mm-hmm.
in these movies.
Man, that's a hunk of man. Like, ah. And it's such a shame because you could tell he likes being Superman. Maybe not necessarily like I don't want to speak for Henry Cavill and his his experience filming these movies, um, but just from him in the press and whatnot, he seems to like being Superman. And I would just love a chance for him to act like Superman. I really thought we were getting Shazam. Like I waited for it, and there's a, I don't want to call it a bait and
Hmm.
switch, but
That's upsets me because I like this actor. This
yeah.
actor right now, he was on Godless, which was a
Mm-hmm.
miniseries on Netflix, from the same director who did Queen's Gambit. It was a
Mm,
western with
that's
Jeff
right.
Daniels and a bunch of great cast members. Really well done. It's a 7 episode show. I highly recommend it. It's basically, it's effectively like 6 hour western movie that's really well directed and it's
Mm,
worth your time.
I'm in.
It's very good.
Here's my question, Pete.
Yep.
If people hold Superman responsible for the destruction of Krypton of Metropolis because of the Kryptonians, why would they build a big old statue in front of the memorial for him?
The movie does a poor job of showing the two sides to, like,
Yeah.
because this is the thing, like, you have this problem where Superman is basically presented as something that more people than not hate in this film or
Hmm.
mistrust at the very least.
Right.
So when you get to the death of Superman, and I get again, this is something I brought up in the Snyder Cut as I was
Hmm.
watching it, is that we get no sense at the end of this film that okay, maybe people mistrust him, but maybe the arc then for Superman in the film is that
It's,
his death, his tragic sacrifice against Doomsday, is what
hmm.
convinces everyone, or at least if this is exactly what I said, is it doesn't even have to be
Yeah.
everyone. It just if you give me one character whose mind is changed, if we see one character change their
Hmm.
mind because he sacrifices himself against Superman or against Doomsday,
Doomsday.
then that's an arc. That's like the idea that he won people over. That shows us that at least
Right.
some people have had their minds changed. But there's none of that. No one
No.
sees that he dies for everyone
Right.
except
Well,
Batman and Wonder Woman. So
right, but like, there's not even a Bibbo like character, you know, who's like Superman's biggest fan. Like, we don't
yeah,
even see that. We don't see the person that's, you know, standing up for Superman, going like, sure he helped cause destruction, but he was here for us when we needed him. There's not even any of that. So like, this stuff always felt wildly out of place. The whole false god
I think
thing.
a lot of this comes back to the idea of Superman as a character and people talking about how it's hard to write a Superman or Superman's
Mhm.
dated or you can't. And I think for me, like I always say, Superman is super relatable in a lot of ways. Just because he's so powerful doesn't mean he's not
Mhm.
relatable. But one of the things that I always think about is Superman. Like absolutely, is probably more relevant and important to us as people than he ever has been.
Mhm.
The idea of having this character who does stand up and sticks to his morals and his ethics no matter what is super important. And it's almost this crutch of like saying, "Oh, we can't do this." So to me, this interpretation of Superman and leaning on the false god and the Jesus
Mhm.
imagery and all that, it's basically just a failure of
It
understanding the character, but it's a failure also of just them saying, "Oh, Superman doesn't work anymore, so we have to
right.
do this."
Well,
And some people argue that like they're right to do that because Superman doesn't work anymore. And to those people, I say, I think that's narrow-minded. I think Superman does work. I think he'll
yeah.
always work.
Well, that's where you have to introduce them to the right stories in the comics, so they can get a vibe on why he does still work. Because the argument I always get is, oh well, this is a realistic take. If there was an alien, I was like, okay, I don't read comics because they're all realistic takes. I don't watch movies because they're all realistic takes. And sure, there's room for that, but in the big screen adaptation of something like the first time Batman and Superman are meeting, I don't think treating him like Public Enemy number one is necessarily the best
Yeah,
track.
I don't want the deconstruction of superheroes and the first time Superman and Batman are.
Yeah.
I want Superman and Batman's like friendship
You,
explored.
yeah,
I want to see.
I want the world's finest. You know,
Yeah,
yeah, because there's a really good story that does all that stuff that we were describing at first, and it's the Dark Knight Returns animated. You know, you want that deconstruction. You got a 2-part animated movie there where it works. Um, God, here's another one that I feel like Lawrence Fishburne as Perry is another one that kind of wasted. I think he could have done so much with this role.
yeah. I think Henry Cavill's Clark is pretty shitty here. Actually, he's just
Yeah,
like he's basically getting angry at Perry for not doing the story he wants them to run.
right.
And he comes across as a bit of a like imagine Clark in any other version of Superman, like sort of speaking like that to Perry. That's his reaction when he's told that his story's not being written. Because
Right.
Clark typically will try and convince, but he'll do it in a way that he'll try and emphasize, okay, this is why it is an important story. He'll try and get
It'll appeal to
across.
empathy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Instead, here he's just getting angry, going, "Well, this is important. Why aren't we running this?" And he
Right.
looks miserable the entire time.
Yeah.
Lois looks miserable the entire time. There's like the only time either of them have even remotely looked happy is, I guess, in the bathtub. But
Right.
even the start of that scene, they look miserable to begin with.
Yeah. Right. Right. Oh, I've wanted a Daily Planet bullpen, and I don't feel like the bullpen's lively. You know, like this doesn't feel like a newsroom. Everything feels very quiet and still. You know, which in this world where there's a man that dresses like a bat and aliens destroying a city 18 months ago, I don't know. I feel like the newsroom would be more buzzing. Also, I don't like the plaid look for him right there because I feel like that's a Smallville Clark. I know it's a small thing, but here we go.
Oh, yeah, this is the scene that sets up the Jarapist. That's right.
Hmm.
Of course. How could I forget? Oh dear. Uh, oh. Oh, we're only 40 minutes in, Matt.
Yeah, that's okay. It's going a lot quicker than I remember, so it
I
helps
ho-
when you're talking through most of it.
oh, for
Just,
sure. But
yeah.
I hold you personally responsible for all of this.
Yes, I
So.
know, but hey, we raised good money for a good cause, so it's a small price to pay.
Oh.
And I can't thank the people enough that donated. You know, so especially after a year that was 2020, you want to put some good in the world. So, and we were able to do that as almost like I don't call it a subgroup, you know, but like comic fans can do good in the world, and movie fans and whatnot. Ah, jeez. How is he more Joker than Jared Leto is Joker? I don't get it.
I don't even know what Jared Leto was trying to do with his Joker.
I, well, Jared Leto as if Joker got really into meth. Like, you know,
Jared Leto's been buying from Walter White's stash
yeah.
for the last
No, it's not
10
even because
years.
Walter White Sash wouldn't do that to him. He straight
True.
up Tuco's, and it's cut with other things.
Well, he's saying that Walter White's meth is like premium like health
Yeah,
meth that
yeah,
nothing dodgy about it. It's just good
yeah.
old fashioned pure meth.
Good old fashioned methamphetamine. It's what they used to give the baseball players. Keep them up.
Oh, right.
More religious imagery.
We had to foreshadow the parademons with the
Yeah.
painting.
How'd you feel about the parademons in Justice League?
Well, in terms of look, in terms of
No, just in their whole vibe. How? Because I've never seen them portrayed as zombies before. Just straight up zombies, like they were.
yeah, I mean, it didn't bother me too much. I mean, ultimately, they're always going
Oh
to be
no.
the henchmen of, well,
Which,
you would presume
yeah.
Darkseid. I mean, obviously, it was Steppenwolf instead, but
Well, yeah. They're definitely from Apocalypse. That whole vibe.
look at
I
them.
didn't mind that.
They're not hiding Martha's name. I thought they were hiding
Well,
Martha's name there.
no, because this is what points it out. Because I've had so many people tell me they didn't realize that her name was Martha. Because everyone kind of knows Martha Kent for whatever reason. Probably because
Mm.
it's a bigger part of the Superman mythos. Um, Even in the 78 version, right? It's some moments with her
Yeah, but it does.
in the
But
beginning.
I do vividly remember it though when he says the name later on. There is like a shot of it going back to these crypts, right, and like the camera
Mm,
showing it again. I'm sure they do that again at the end,
okay.
or yeah, which almost plays it like it is a twist. Obviously, it isn't,
Yeah.
but
No. Uh-oh. What is that? I don't remember that at all. That's gonna give me nightmares.
I didn't realize we got a man bat nightmare sequence.
Yeah. Now I want a man bat werewolf movie. It's a werewolf movie but with man bat. If I need to be clear.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh boy, Bruce Wayne has a drinking problem.
I bet there was Reddit threads trying to like piece together who this woman was that's lying in the bed
Yeah.
next to him.
Yeah. I like to think that it's Silver St. Cloud.
Sure, I'm going with Vicky Vale just cause.
There you go. Which would make sense. He has a thing for reporters, which is why Snyder wanted him and Lois shacking up in
Mm-hmm.
Justice League for whatever stupid reason. Ugh. I also do like this Wayne Manor, just mainly because we're getting to actually be in it.
Well, this
Um,
isn't Wayne Manor. This is just these little lake
this
house.
is Lake House.
Yeah.
I always took this as a piece of Wayne Manor, like it's the the North Wing or South Wing or whatever.
Well, I mean, it's definitely not connected, but I mean, if you tell me this is still on the Wayne estate
Yeah.
and it's just like
Okay.
you know, by the lake that's a mile away from the
Well,
house or something, sure.
what I was gonna say is I like how modern it is with all the big. It's completely different from what I would expect from Bruce living in because it's so bright with all the windows and whatnot.
Hmm. Well, so it's very grey though, as far as
Yeah,
color grading goes.
true.
There's nothing in this movie that's bright. Zack
No,
Snyder isn't like bright.
no. Oh, the smaller cowl.
I like to think he's thinking about the reviews when he was doing that stare. He knows that the reviews are coming and they're
Yeah.
going to tear it to shreds because
Oh,
the movie's
shit, this.
trash.
So again, like you brought up earlier. So Batman's a myth. However, Joker has tormented him enough that they have a rivalry. Yet people in Gotham don't realize this. Like I don't. Uh,
Yeah, it
I don't
doesn't
know.
quite work.
No.
Doesn't quite work. Uh, it does Wayne Manor.
Yeah. Well, it's Wayne Mausoleum.
He's not a fan of the mansion these days. He's
Uh,
so I'm
See,
just
this Bruce Wayne isn't bad either. Like I buy him as Bruce.
Clark Kent. Who's that? I forgot he said that. Yeah, that's a little bit
Yeah,
silly.
very much. Like, because I feel like Clark Kent would know who Bruce Wayne is as a reporter.
I mean, I buy that not everyone knows who Bruce Wayne is, but I don't buy that a
Right,
reporter doesn't know who Bruce
right,
Wayne is.
right. Oh, there's the first shot of Gal.
This movie's 5 years old.
Yeah, it's weird. She's had like 3 kids since this,
Huh. Good for her, I
or
guess.
she's had 2 and she already had 1. I can't remember, but I do know. What other outside of Wonder Woman? What else has she been in?
Fast and
Yeah.
Furious sequels. She was in that
Oh my
first.
god, I forgot. It was so. Oh my god, I forgot. She's Han's love interest slash girlfriend.
Yeah.
I
Uh,
forgot.
since then, I don't know what she's been in. Alone the
She was in that one that I saw, Keeping Up with the Joneses, with Galifianakis. Who else? Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of a shame because I do like her as Diana, and I like to see her in other things.
Batman's tapping into Lexi's computers trying to find his secret porn stash.
Secret porn stash sounds like a ripoff mustache. Okay, is this supposed to be Mercy?
I don't know. I don't know if they'd name her that. Might just be generic.
He just went full. He just went full Boston with that.
Who's to say that Gotham isn't based on Boston in this
You
world?
know what? Masshole Batman now needs to exist.
Here you
Oh,
come,
God.
Firefly. Here you come.
Oh, why
Being
are you subjecting your cat to this?
This cat's keeping me sane.
Uh,
Keeping me sane.
uh,
Lex is supposed to be a good public speaker. Why is he acting like a
yeah,
crazy man even on the mic? That's weird.
yeah. Like again, I feel like the public should trust him, even though
Yes.
we know they shouldn't, but they should have zero interest. Like this titan of industry.
It makes the people of this world look a bunch of idiots, quite frankly.
Well, maybe that's how Zack Snyder feels about the general public. You know, not the general public, but the majority of the
Hmm.
world. They're all just rubes waiting to be taken advantage of. Oh, God.
Yeah, I'm going to put it out there. Rewatching this, because there's not a lot of his Clark in Justice League, so you don't really get to see him be Clark Kent.
No.
His Clark Kent is terrible. I'm just like watching
It,
this again is making me realize
yeah.
how bad his Clark is, because he's just an angry man as Clark Kent. There's
Yeah.
no there's no
Right.
other degree to
Well, when you're raised by a guy that tells you maybe you should just let people drown
it.
instead of using your natural abilities to try to help. So you see his Clark in the ground enough.
In
You know,
the ground.
that's
I mean, I'll give it to you this. He plays dead Clark Kent perfectly fine.
yeah, yeah.
Alive Clark Kent, though, not so hot.
Uh, but here's the thing: if Perry's not giving him the right stories, how would Lex really know who Clark Kent is? Because Clark Kent doesn't seem to me like this reporter that would be well known.
Because does he already knows that he's Superman, right? Like later on, he reveals that he already knows who he
Yeah.
is. So I assume that he knows who he is because he's already investigated who Superman is. Maybe.
No, I know, but I'm just looking at
I don't know.
yeah. Because that's the thing that I like about Clark is that he doesn't want the spotlight as Clark Kent. That's why him and Lois work. Clark's fine just doing the human interest stories, and he can do the investigative stuff if he needs to. Yeah. This just makes me want to read good Superman comics. That's all. To wash it out.
The I shall now infiltrate the wait staff. I have the glasses already. I'll blend in seamlessly.
Oh,
Lady in red.
yeah.
Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
He's upset because Anna de Armas is split up with him, so
Yeah, I was gonna say.
he's spotted Gal Gadot in the crowd, and he's like,
Uh-huh.
you know what? I fancy me a bit Gal Gadot. This will make me feel better.
Ben Affleck and dark-haired women. Name a better combo.
He's thrown out his cardboard stand up, and
Yeah.
he's looking he's looking for a new lover.
Uh,
He's in pursuit, and she's speeding away in the car. He's oh no, damn it. All right,
why
fine.
don't you just take the invisible jet?
She doesn't have. Well, she does have it technically, I suppose. Yeah. Hey, okay. You know what? I can't blame this movie for the fact that Wonder
Yeah,
Woman
I know.
84 retcons so
Oh.
much into her or not backstory, but like contradicts
Yeah.
so much of what shouldn't exist. Anyway,
Yeah. All right. Here's
okay.
a nice scene of Superman actually doing good.
He was mildly smiling there. I'll give him that.
Yeah. And I get all the people wanting to touch him, like, you know what I mean, putting their hands on him, and
I cannot. Yeah, but I hate this expression though.
yes, touch me, look at my pecs. Did we just step into a YouTube video?
I think we may have done. Why does he look so miserable?
Yeah.
As he's dragging the ship.
Yeah. Of course, Andrew Sullivan would hate Superman. That checks out.
uh,
Yeah.
dear.
Uh-oh.
Oh, that did look familiar.
Yeah. And here, this is very Superman. I don't mind this. But
But why does he look so
here,
angry
a
all the
smile.
time? Like, I
Yeah,
don't
but
like
a
this
smile
because
here, I could not justify. You know what I mean?
I, like yeah, in theory the moment where you're just catching a rocket and landing with it
Yeah.
is fine, but like I hate like every expression he
This
has in his face during everything he does in this montage is
this one pisses me off more than anything. Like, there's a flood, right? They wrote his symbol on their ceiling, or on their ceiling, on their roof. And what does he do? Does he rush to comfort her, who's just lost her entire house? No. He hovers 20 feet above her.
and stares.
I hate it so much.
Oh dear. They don't like me. Why don't they like me? Lois, tell me why they don't like me.
Yeah, see, a properly raised Clark Kent doesn't care because he's just going to keep his head down and go, I can't not help people. I don't care if people like me or not.
Well, even if you want to do a story where the press is against Clark Kent like this, if you want
Hmm?
to do that story, what's uplifting about Superman and Clark Kent is that he perseveres and keeps proving why he isn't a threat and keeps proving
Right.
who he is anyway. But in this, we have him be like, "Oh, they hate me. Maybe I should stop saving people."
He goes and starts listening to some My Chemical Romance. He's really getting his feelings.
And then Martha Kent gives him like just the worst advice. That's completely different from
Oh,
any Martha Kent I've ever seen in my life. What's the line she has later? Like, you know,
they don't,
save this
they don't owe
world
you
or
a thing.
don't. Yeah, they don't owe you a
Yeah.
damn thing or something like that, or you don't owe them a damn thing rather.
Yeah.
Uh,
That's
nonsense.
so antithetical that I know and love,
Oh, here's Jenna
you know.
Malone.
Mhm.
Uh, So, is she
And I like her.
Barbara
In,
Gordon? Is this what she is?
mm,
There's two gingers in this scene, and Barbara Gordon's not the ginger.
yes.
What's going on? There's something wrong.
Yeah. And Lois isn't traditionally ginger either, so it's
Well,
all sorts of.
that's my point.
Yeah. No, no, I know.
But is that our one scene? Is that it? Was that
I
all?
think that's it. See, it's a death sentence, yet he still does it. He knows. Batman's like, oh, this is gonna get that guy killed. Ugh.
Oh. Yeah, this may be a shocking idea to some people who love to be cynical and want
Mhm.
things that are just jaded and whatever this is. But I actually want to like Batman and Superman, and I find it very difficult to like either of them in this movie.
And look,
Never mind them being like accurate to like different interpretations of the
yeah,
characters or what I think the ideal versions of those characters are. I just want them to be likable. I think they're both unlikable dicks in this.
yes, yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, that's Scoot McNairy. That's the actor you were
Yes.
talking about before, right?
Yeah, from Godless, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, I know his name because it's Scoot.
The dramatic turn on the fancy, expensive wheelchairs. Like, hey, I got you a new chair. Either that
Yeah.
or Lex is like,
Oh,
hey, look how much better my chair is.
yeah,
Aren't you jealous? I look at Xavier there, which
yeah.
ironically is also meant to be a bald character.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. He looks like bootleg Professor Xavier.
They're going the biggest mistake the MCU might ever make is casting Jesse Eisenberg as a long-haired
Uh-huh.
young Xavier. 'Cause, 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 '
This man needs therapy.
A lot of talks a piss in this movie.
Yeah,
She seems to be involved in a lot of those scenes.
yeah.
Don't know why she got the short end there, but so why exactly are other criminals killing Bat branded criminals? Like, why do they care what
Not,
Batman has branded
not,
people?
not, not. It should be like almost like a point of pride, like you were caught by Batman. I hate that sound.
That was a
It's
lot.
something that's
That was a lot of
yeah,
stabs. That was a lot of
yeah.
stabbing motions.
The worst one for me ever was in Breaking Bad
Hmm.
when he teams up with the white supremacists and they start taking the people out in the jails, and there's just a montage of that of shankings,
Yes.
and it's that sound just over and over for like 4 minutes. Ugh.
Now watch this scene, keeping in mind that this is
Yeah,
supposed to be Martian Manhunter now.
yeah.
With balls like yours, you belong in here. Um,
It's not a John Jones line.
Well, no, well, not just that. That's not what I'm getting
Yeah.
at. I'm getting at the fact that
But
in her opening scene in Man of Steel,
uh-huh,
she talked about how they were measuring their dicks, and she was
uh-huh.
included herself in that. So
Right,
I just think it's funny that 2 movies in a row, Zack Snyder somehow had conversation about Lois's male genitalia being
right.
mentioned in a weird way. I don't know. It's just a weird coincidence.
No, I don't think it's a coincidence.
You know,
I
that's
definitely think there's a tent.
you
Yeah.
think Zack Snyder is just obsessed with male genitalia? Is that what you're saying?
Not just that. I do think that he's attributing masculine traits
Sure.
to Lois because she's supposed to be this tough, you know,
So you're
hard
saying
as
that Zack
nails.
Snyder doesn't know how to comprehend a woman who's tough without ascribing simple
Maybe.
male things to her.
Yeah.
Okay, I get what you're saying. Uh, and I saw Sucker Punch, which is his feminist film, and I don't find it hard to believe, quite frankly,
No, no.
because
I always said,
Sucker Punch is legitimately it's worse than this film. Is legitimately
yeah,
one of the worst mainstream things I've
it
ever seen.
it's incoherent.
And where it claims to be feminist, I find it to be very problematic. But you
Yes.
know, that's a conversation for another time.
No, 100%. I remember coming out of there going, there's not a film with a better name than Sucker Punch because that's exactly how I felt, watching it.
I remember feeling depressed. I remember coming out of that movie in 2011, and this
Hmm.
was like maybe like a month after they announced Zack Snyder was doing Superman, and I
Hmm.
remember coming out of that movie just being like, he's doing Superman, and just being like, just depressed
Yep.
about it.
Oh my God. Sucker Punch is 10 years old.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh my God.
yeah. Let that sink in. More importantly, so is Drive, which deserves to be celebrated in its 10th anniversary.
Yes. Drive made me think I was a Refn fan, and the rest of Refn's movies made me go, no, I am not. But I will still stick up for Drive.
Hey, Drive made me think I was a Reference fan, and then the rest of his movies went, yes, yes, you are.
Yeah, yeah. And this is why we were different. This is why we are different.
I almost maybe we should do another go where Matt has to like watch live on camera the entirety
Oof.
of Too Old to Die Young. Just so every time there's a long scene where the characters just stand there for 10 minutes and then one of them spits on the ground. I just want Matt's reaction. It's just the inner turmoil in his brain.
He made me not like a Viking movie. Do you know how hard that is to do?
Oh, that movie was great.
Uh, Felt like I
Valhalla,
was on that boat with him for 3 months.
Valhalla Rising was great.
So this is the one thing I do like about Wonder Woman in these movies is her whole antiquities thing,
Mhm.
because that really fits the character. If they wanted to bring that into the comics, I would not mind. Because we always get her as a diplomat or as a, you know, working with the government in some aspect, but her being like a museum type person,
Yeah, I don't
that's
know.
trying to secure and preserve history, I think
Well,
really fits Diana.
I think one of the points here to sort of connect it to what we've been saying about Batman and Superman and Lex as well, I guess, is that there's no problem with adding on new flourishes to characters that are this old and have like new things to explore. The thing is though is that her being someone who is sort of become a museum curator or whatever is that does not betray anything that
Mhm.
she is otherwise. Though it doesn't betray her personality, how she acts, how she
Mhm.
interacts with people. What one of I think the problem with how all the other characters are characterized is that they actively go against a lot of what they are. And
Right.
I remember saying pretty definitively soon after this came out that putting a Superman logo on the chest and calling him Superman does not make him Superman.
No.
And of course, someone argued and said, "Yes, it does. That's all you need. That makes him Superman." And I'm like, "No, it doesn't. There's a
No.
personality. Like,
It is.
if that's what makes a character, then how do you even judge a non superhero character who doesn't have an outfit, who doesn't have a fancy name? Like, you know? Oh no, Matt's frozen. This is terrible. He better not pause the movie. He can come back in as long as he doesn't pause the movie. As long as the movie's still in sync. We have the nightmare scene to go. Uh, maybe Skype will freak out on him. I don't know. Oh, there's a dark side symbol on the ground. Of course, I think Matt just chose to abandon the film when it hit the nightmare sequence. That's what I think's happened. I'm kind of just waiting for Matt to come back. I don't want to start any great points because I'm expecting his connection to just sort of re-establish quickly. Oh, he moved. There was like an extra frame. Oh, he's back. He's back. I think he's back.
There we go.
Right,
It's as
cool.
if the internet didn't want me to discuss the nightmare.
All I was saying while it froze was I
Yeah.
hope it doesn't pause the movie because we should still be in
Yeah.
sync.
Nope.
Good, good, we're
Nope.
good.
I kept going until I could hear your voice.
Excellent, excellent.
Yes.
Oh yeah, Batman's got a
Uh,
machine gun. There you go.
yeah. So this is the thing I hate second most in this movie after the floating above the house scene.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, just to go back to what I was saying before, though, is that like a character is not just a name and an outfit. And
Nope.
if someone says, "Well, you're just against alternate versions of things or new ideas or new versions of things because you don't like this," I'm like, "Yeah, but you could apply that to anything. Like, there has to be something that makes the character the character. Like saying, complaining that I am being unreasonable when I say I don't want Batman with a gun or killing people. Like,
Right.
are you? Would you also like? That would be like me saying, "Oh, it should be completely okay to do." Now, admittedly, this sounds amazing as a parody, but
Mhm.
just for comparison's sake, I'd be like saying, "Oh, they should do Die Hard, but John McClane's a 10-year-old and everything's with water guns." Like, now, admittedly, I realize that sounds like a fun little stupid idea for a movie, but
Hans catches him so quick and throws him off a Nakatomi Tower.
but the point I'm making is though is that it wouldn't be John McClane. It
No.
would really be Die Hard at that point. It would
Right.
be
Right. Right. Well,
whatever, you know.
it. I always say like the MCU Thor isn't traditional Thor. He's MCU Thor, but he still has enough of the aspects that it's not problematic. Like I really enjoy Ragnarok,
Sure,
and
yeah.
that's not what I'm used to in a Thor comic. But it still works because Hemsworth, and the directors, the writers still get what makes that character tick. So I can get down with alternate versions of stuff. It just still has to, I don't want to say
Batman
make sense,
Batman
but
firing a machine gun is not a visual that I enjoy, or snapping a
nope.
neck for that matter, which he just did. So
Mm-mm.
in two films, we've seen Zack Snyder make both Batman and Superman snap a neck. Just put
Yeah.
that out there. Uh, so no, I never want to see that visual. That is just there's a line that has been crossed with Batman there that I'm
Yeah.
just not on board with, and I'm never going
Because
to like it. And that's before we even get to the we're doing evil Superman again, because
yeah.
like this is one of the most creative bankrupt moves that has been happening over the last couple of decades. And it's not that all versions have been bad. Apparently, Tom Taylor's Injustice comic's quite good, and that's
Yeah.
because he's Tom Taylor and he knows how to write a goddamn comic book.
Yeah.
But and hell, even the plot for Injustice 2, from what I've seen, isn't even that bad. The game that is it
I
seemed all
gotcha.
right, but doing just constant evil Superman is a plot device because
Well,
again, no one knows what to
yeah.
do with Superman because people like
it really, and there's a meta story that I've kind of always wanted to tell. It's that reflects the people more than it reflects the character, if that makes sense.
Oh
Like the
sure.
fact that you can't see anything beyond evil Superman tells me more than I need to know about you.
I
You know,
think
as a
if
person.
you argue, if someone says it's not possible to write a relatable Superman story or that Superman
Hmm.
doesn't work, I just instantly think that you're a bad writer, or at the very least, I think that you're not suited to
Hmm.
superheroes or a specific kind.
Yeah.
The Flash,
Uh,
the thing,
I forgot he was in
the nightmare
the
scene from the
big
end
huge
of
armor.
yeah. You've always been right about him.
Yeah.
I bet you love that line, Matt. I, like, you've always been right about Superman. You have to fear him.
It,
Yep, that Skype's acted up again. He'll finish that point in a second. Oh, he's back, I
there goes.
think.
Sorry. I should figure anytime you go quiet for more, I should start looking up
Yeah.
instead of watching the movie. I was
Uh,
just going off on Ezra Miller and
no, I
how
was, I
terrible
was,
the armor looks.
I was just saying. I bet you love that line, where you were right all along. You need to fear him, uh, about Superman.
Ah, God.
Like, is that the point that this series wants to make? Is that like,
Hmm.
because that's the thing. Like this idea that, and this is something that Injustice is partly guilty of as well, because the whole start of that is that Joker kills Lois, and that's what turns Superman evil in that world, right?
Right.
But here, this idea that Lois dying at some point is what's going to make Superman evil, and that he's just one bad day away from becoming evil Superman is just
Right.
so against the character for me, and so
But
many
yeah, but
levels.
with Injustice, there's added layers that it's he himself kills Lois because he's
True,
been tricked
true.
by Joker. So there's a whole thing where he's having this guilt and how, which leads to him becoming this overlord that just wants control. So it can never happen again.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, the here that you're right. That's, to me, Snyder came in with the idea that Superman's the bad guy, and we can't trust him ever, and that people are fools for trusting him because the nightmare scenario is inevitable. Um, and I've heard rumblings about what his plans were, and I mean, it just none of it makes me want to ever see him
Oh yeah,
tackle these characters
yeah,
again.
I never want to see a Snyder DC movie ever again.
No.
Like, for love of all things, leave it be. Leave it alone. Uh, yeah, no, because part of the uplifting thing about heroic characters is the idea that they aren't just one bad day away from becoming something awful.
Hmm.
That they can survive bad days and still be who they are, and that's the idea of
Right.
that their morality and their ethics and their
Hmm.
heroism will persevere. Uh,
Right.
through
Oh,
everything. So
there's the term, absolute or power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. And for me, that never rang true with Superman because he's not about power. I guess he's powerful, right? Because of his Kryptonian physiology. But what does he choose to do? Is he goes to become a reporter?
I always come back to these characters are supposed to be inspirations in many
Yeah.
ways, and there's nothing inspiring about any of the characters in this film.
No. No,
Um,
not even Wonder Woman, who acts the most heroic through this,
I
if I
mean,
remember right. We'll get there,
it doesn't
but
really do anything wrong with her. She doesn't get enough to really have anything though. She
yeah,
just she shows up to fight, and that's basically it.
right, right. But she's not even inspirational. Like none of like you're right, none of them are. And I feel that's also the problem in Justice League. Is I want to see all these heroes work together, but it's you know,
Yeah.
uh,
Um, Yeah, I know it's just what I always come back to. I mean, people compare Marvel and DC characters. Marvel are a
mm-hmm,
bit more down to earth, DC are more godlike, and I suppose they are
mm-hmm,
to an extent. I don't like the phrase godlike though. I prefer more mythical
no,
because even
yeah,
Batman, I think, comes across a bit mythical once
that,
his legend
yeah,
is spread, and
they're almost like a pantheon, you know.
But to me, what that means though is that they are inspirations. That they're supposed to be
Hmm.
inspiring to those around them. And even a character like Batman, who isn't even necessarily, he doesn't even start like that's what he's intending, but that's what he becomes because ultimately,
Right.
you know, the idea of what he is in his head versus what he is in reality isn't necessarily a 1-to-1. Uh,
Right. It's what I like to tell people that get upset about the Nolan trilogy that, oh, he doesn't really act like Batman. He's not the world's greatest detective. And but Nolan from the start
and
had
this
the
one
concept.
is. This one
Well,
is.
right, right. But Nolan from the start had him as a symbol. He wanted to be something more, right? And the arc over those three movies, he achieves it, right? So I can forgive some of the smaller stuff of, him not being the world's greatest detective. He's more of like a street brawler that brings down people, you
I mean,
know.
he
Um,
does do detective work. I mean, it doesn't focus on it as much. But
no,
the
but that's
thing,
not the point of those movies. They're not detective stories. They're, you know,
well, no, but they're not perfect in every single aspect of who Batman has always been in the or can be in the
right.
comics. But it picks on what it wants to focus on, and it pretty much
Hmm.
nails those things really goddamn well, and it doesn't betray
Hmm.
the other elements while it's doing it.
Not
Um,
at all.
but yeah,
There's Batman with a sniper rifle.
100% perfect, not by any stretch, but excellent adaptations of Batman and also an excellent movie
Hmm.
in their own rights. Absolutely. In fact, because this is the scene I remember, like at this point in the movie, I just like this is where I lost all hope because this is where Batman starts just flipping cars into each other and exploding them
Yeah.
and
Isn't this where the chain gun comes up on the Batmobile too?
probably.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't remember enough to tell you when the chain
Yeah.
gun comes out,
Yeah.
but
Yep. There goes one.
I mean, they're probably dead. That one didn't explode though, so I mean,
No,
it could be a lie.
this is Batman at a monster truck
Oh no,
rally,
wait,
but no one else.
he just that's the same car he just grabbed. Oh wait, no, he's got
Yeah.
they're definitely dying. he's
Yeah.
he's dragging them around the street there.
I hope their seatbelts were on.
This is the one that he whips into their car and then they both explode. I
Yeah.
think. So
And you are
and
almost correct.
here
Here we
we
go.
are. Yep. Oh, even flips onto them. No bomb.
Yeah.
Oh, it doesn't explode. I
We're waiting for an explosion that never comes.
that first everyone in that first car is definitely dead by now though.
Yes.
There is no mistake in my mind.
No. Well, and it also is an idea of what this is a Batman driven by vengeance and not justice. Because
Mm-hmm.
he's just out there killing criminals for being criminals.
Oh, that
He
was
he
a
doesn't care.
yeah, that was the guns in the Batmobile. That was an explosion.
Yeah.
I knew there was explosions.
No one's left in that.
Oh yeah, the driver and the gunman and that's that car there. Yeah, they're definitely just gone.
Yep.
Uh, I also watched Batman '89 along with Superman
Uh huh.
'78 at the weekend, and Batman '89 is coming out rather favorably compared to this. and
So like Batman '89 has its issues. I don't know. It's hard for me to stick up for that movie, but it's still an enjoyable watch. Like, cause he's not Batman any more than anything that we're complaining. Like, he's throwing dudes off of buildings left and right in that movie. You know.
yeah. Oh, I knew there was explosions, right? That was a whole tanker
Yep.
just went up, right? Listen to the Discord. How do we convince Matt to buy a pair? And it's
A pair of
Jurassic
what?
Park shoes.
Right. I've seen them. Um. Who the hell did I just text if I didn't text Ashley? Oh, this is you.
Oh, me? You text me?
My wife was asking how far we were to the movie, and so I was like, "How come she hasn't responded yet?" And it's because I had your window open.
Ah, yes.
Yeah,
Yes, thanks, Matt, for telling me 117. That was
yeah, there you go.
that was
Oh my
vital
god.
information.
Yeah. Uh, I mean, if this was an action scene in a Fast and Furious movie, I'd be about it. But it's Batman. It. Oh, here we go.
Let's say the operatic singing in the
Yeah.
soundtrack. I hate it. I hate it.
I love the little skid that it does after it hits Superman. Ah,
We're just about to hit an hour 20 in this, and this is when
yeah,
Superman and Batman finally
finally.
interact.
Yeah. I love how he stands up to him as if he didn't watch this dude throw people through buildings.
The bat is dead, bury it. Very Superman, and he's frozen there. And he's such an angry man. Bleed.
He does. Who says that? I hate the digital voice too. I'd much rather have the Christian Bale yelling voice or the Michael Keaton deep voice than this digital.
I just like Superman can be stern, but somehow the way he's directed Cavill to
Mhm.
play these scenes is so like he's like a mob boss.
Yeah,
It's like he's coming in, he's
which
like the bat is dead, bury it.
yeah, which fits in like Earth 3 with the crime syndicate, right? Where they all kind of hate each other,
Yes,
you know?
he
Maybe that's what these are. These are the Earth 3 films.
he's about. I mean, yeah, it's very crime syndicate. He's about two steps away from being Homelander, but I mean that's a whole
Yeah,
separate category of joking. That
but at least Homelander's fun, you know?
Homelander's pretty funny. This is true. This is very true.
Yeah. Just watching this, I can't wait for James Gunn's Suicide Squad.
Oh,
Just because, just from the trailers, there's already so much levity.
I mean,
I think everyone knows.
it certainly can't be worse than this, and it certainly can't be worse than the other Suicide Squad movie because that was garbage as
Mhm.
well. Do you know what? 2016 as a DC fan, watching this and then Suicide Squad in the same year was a
It
miserable
hurt.
experience.
It hurt. I'm not gonna lie, it made me question if I wanted to still watch or still read comic books. That's a lie. I'll always read comic books.
I
But I contemplated it. What is this speech? I don't have a halo over me, as if she was reporting. Still can't get over his name is Scoot.
I've never been in a taxi cab that's got had a TV in the back showing the news. Very fancy. Maybe Metropolis is just the
Yeah.
head of the curve here. All the
Yeah.
taxis have got fancy TVs in.
Oh, he was also in Monsters. That's the first time I remember.
Oh, Scoot McNairy?
Yeah. And he's in Argo. He's on True
Yes.
Detective? Huh.
Yeah, he's popped up in tons of stuff. Uh,
Shoot.
I always bring up Godless because he's one of the lead roles in that, and it's where he really kind of
Hmm.
stuck out to me. And
Yeah, I might have to give this a throw this on the list. I like a good. It's an actual western, right? Like,
yeah,
yeah, it's that Nate or
7 episodes. It was meant to be 6 episodes, but they decided that I think
yeah.
it's because the only time an episode wasn't that fulfilling is I think episode 6 because they realized that their second last episode was just too long. Because they're quite long episodes.
Yeah.
They're all like 60 to 70 minutes, but there's one that would have been 90 minutes, so they split it in two, so it's 7 episodes. And you can kind of tell when you
Uh,
get to the end of like 5 because you're like, that only feel like half of an episode.
huh.
It's not a big deal though. If you're binging it, it doesn't really matter. But
No. Yeah, I will add it. 7 episodes is doable.
yeah, so it's really good. You'll be hooked after an episode. You won't have to think
Yeah.
about it.
I still have to finish The Boys. I got to a certain point and I could not take it
Oh,
just because
that's
it's feeling pretty hopeless, you know.
I promise you that the stuff at the end of season 2 that's
Yes.
uplifting. I promise.
Yeah, I just without spoiling, I got to the point where Homelander meets Stormfront, and they really hit it off, and I was like, this cannot end up good for this world. Yeah.
Oh, one of the best
Yeah.
lines in the whole show.
Yep.
Laser my effing tits. That is just
Uh
that's a good line.
huh.
Oh,
Which seeing Aya Cash show up on there made me want to revisit You're the Worst, just because it's one of my favorite sitcoms.
I don't think I'd ever seen
Um,
her in anything before.
yeah, I think she was one of the girls in Wolf of Wall Street that gets her head shaved for money too. So you
Oh,
definitely saw
okay.
her in that,
All right.
in
Well,
very
yeah.
small.
I mean, that was 8 years ago. So.
Yeah, but if you've never seen You're the Worst, I think you'd dig it. Just very terrible people try to navigate their lives. Um, yeah. Oh, jeez. I forgot what caused the explosion, and I won't spoil it in case people chose to watch this the first time.
You think people watch this the first time along with this commentary track?
Yes, I just remembered that the wheelchair is what explodes, and it makes it even worse.
Well, that's yeah, because that's the thing. They
Yeah,
obviously they expect the
yeah.
wheelchair to have metal in it, so they let that through the metal detector.
Right.
Yeah.
This, oh man, I feel that was definitely Zack Snyder speaking through the script.
Let's just get off a subway. It's made me want to watch Speed again. That's what this movie needs. It needs Dennis Hopper hamming it up. The whims of a madman. Interactive TV, Jack. Wave of the future.
Yeah. Oh God, here we go.
Oh, that's Mercy. They name dropped her.
It is Mercy. Yeah. Also, kind of want nothing against the actress, but she's kind of slight in build. You kind of want Mercy to be physically imposing, not just a tall girl. I mean, it's not like she has a character at all in this. He just hangs out like a UFO. Super grainy footage. Oh, there's Ma. Uh
I mean,
oh.
it's in 2021. There's a joke here about Superman getting into the Capitol building that I'm not going to make,
Yep.
but let it be known when it popped out of my head.
Just say
They'll let him in. He's white. Don't worry. They'll let him in.
thank you. It wouldn't be very difficult for someone that looks like Superman to get in there.
No.
Uh,
Oh, the villain man's going to murder this poor woman.
yes.
This actress actually, I've seen pop up in other things since. She was in Lovecraft Country and
Oh.
uh, His House, which
Oh
was a
boy.
movie from Netflix last year that was quite good.
Huh.
I didn't realize she was in this.
Well, because you didn't remember Dawn of Justice.
Happily, I add.
Yes. Let's see, who is she?
Like all we get of the public in this movie is the sector that hates Superman. We never get the side that likes him or thinks he's a hero or is inspired by him. We only get the ones who want to shop it with picket signs and blah blah blah.
Yeah, the ones that hate Superman.
So we never get any other perspective. We never get anything else. So in future movies, if even if they say it was 50-50, we never got a sign of that. We never saw that.
No, I'm looking for that actress.
Who?
You said it was on Lovecraft. That was on Lovecraft Country.
Oh right, yeah. She was the sister character on Lovecraft Country.
Okay, that's who I was gonna see.
Ruby, how was
Mm,
her name was? Remember right?
yeah,
The character that's.
yeah.
By the way, there's something about Superman's outfit that really looks silly when he's standing in a hearing room with people in nothing but
Yeah,
suits and you know.
but it definitely makes him feel like an outsider, which is I will give Snyder credit for, intentional or not. Oh man.
Again, Superman, I believe in this situation, even though he's the one kind of not on trial per
Mhm.
se, but uh,
Right.
like I fully believe he would go in here and want to treat everyone with respect. He would have a smile on his face as much as he could.
Hmm.
He would be trying to make people feel comfortable and explain why he does what he does. But he just looks,
Right.
he just looks like, oh, why have I got to be here? I'm on
Yeah.
trial. Oh, which is just so not Superman. Look at his
I
skull. He's skulling
yeah.
all the time.
Like I have a football game I'm missing.
Oh, Lois really wanted a nooner, and I'm here. I could be getting laid right now, but I'm having to show up to this stupid thing.
Oh dear! Don't touch it. It's warm.
Wait, why does
Oh
no one
yeah.
smell this? I remember having a
Yeah.
cap on it. There's no top on it, so
Yeah.
presumably you just smell the piss.
Yeah. Unless it's really peach tea, and we just completely misread this.
It's not. It's piss.
Oh my god. Uh.
Why is this scene funnier than it? Martha, calm down. He's Superman. He'll be fine.
Yeah.
Everyone else is the one that's screwed.
Yeah. He really likes to have footage of horses rearing back, doesn't he?
Oh, he does. He loves it.
It's like the third time it's been in this movie.
It might. Okay, don't
And
get me wrong.
again,
I'm not arguing that he shouldn't look sad in this moment because of what's just
no.
happened around him. I'm arguing that why is he scowling the exact same way he was before it happened?
Here's the thing too. He has super speed.
He should look worried.
Like,
He should be flying around as quickly as possible to see if there's any survivors. He
yes,
should be trying to do
yes.
things, but he's just standing there
Well,
scowling again.
he should have even made a movement towards that. Instead, he's in the same spot.
And I'll even buy that he's in shock for a moment, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But show concern, show like tears in his eyes because it's like it's
Hmm.
it's upsetting. It's devastating what's just happened.
Oh, cheer.
I believe
We're
Henry
gonna
Cavill.
need room to work.
I believe Henry Cavill can act. This movie, it's just like Zack
Yeah.
Snyder kept telling him to pull the same face as much as he could,
Hmm.
and he has no range because of it.
I don't know. Did you see Enola Holmes,
I
where he
did.
plays Sherlock?
I
He was
saw it.
he was pretty good as Sherlock Holmes.
I mean, I guess he was fine. I mean, I didn't like the movie that much, but yeah, he
Yeah.
was
Well,
nothing wrong
I
with him.
wouldn't have expected you to.
Too much of the sloppy teen romance for
Yeah.
my taste on that one.
Yeah.
But it wasn't for me. It wasn't
No.
definitely wasn't a movie that was made for me. So that's fine. Whatever.
And he just leaves. Also, this Alfred has definitely killed people, right?
To be
Like
fair, I
he's
think all Alfreds have always killed people because he's always been in the army, right? That was like he was in the military in his past.
yeah. But you can be in the military and not be like front line, right? Like
Oh,
to
true,
me,
true.
he was always like a medic or something. That's why he can stitch up Bruce, whatever. In another life, this Alfred was John Wick. Like just the way he swings that axe.
Well, in another
Uh,
life, he was Simon Gruber, and he was playing a
yeah.
really good game of Simon Says with
There you
John
go.
McClane in New York City.
Uh-oh.
He's missed all
See, even
that.
my dog's upset by what just happened.
He was too busy chopping his wood and being a real man's man. He missed all
Yeah.
all the chaos in the news.
So Alfred goes, "This is what I get for taking quiet time."
Oh dear.
Just like this movie, just like it revels in like depression, in like trauma, a
Yeah.
little bit too much for my liking. Like,
I feel like it's lacking like a there's not much of a drive forward. It's a bit lackadaisical in its pacing.
mhm.
See,
Yeah. Well, and I think
that
that's because this
that
is the
that little moment on the security camera wasn't bad. That small
no,
moment of Batman coming down and grabbing someone and pulling them up like a horror movie,
that,
that was fine. That
that
was
was very Batman.
on its own. That was a perfectly fine little moment. So congratulations,
Yeah.
Starry. You did 2 seconds of good stuff.
Yeah. Again, I maintain that there's good stuff in Snyder films. It's just not the whole thing is, it's like a
Very
good sentence in a hastily put together essay,
There's very little
you know?
good stuff in Snyder films. I don't think
Yeah.
there's a lot of good stuff in Snyder films.
No. No, he's sad.
Yeah, I'll be honest. All on the Jenna Malone scene, I have not noticed anything. And again, it's been a while since I saw the theatrical cut,
Yeah.
so
Well, the beginning with the Jimmy Olsen stuff, that's extended. I do remember that. Um, but yeah, let's see. Well, and your dad was an a-hole, so you should be surprised there, Clark. You mean the same farmer that told you not to be Superman?
oh, don't worry. He's gonna have a talk with his dead dad soon. We'll have a ghost
Mm-hmm.
dad conversation. It'll be delightful.
Here's the differences so far.
I hate this scene so much. I love the idea of Lois saying because there's an episode of early Lois and Clark where something similar happens where Superman gets a little like turned off because people are starting to question that he can't save everyone. And Lois
Mm-hmm.
gives him this, or it doesn't even intentionally because she didn't know Superman. But she gives Clark this speech about how Superman's important because it's reminding someone that there's someone out there fighting for them, and that the hope of that he's out there is even more important than the actual people he's saving.
Uh-huh.
Um, and
This has none of that
this has
whatsoever.
yeah. This like she says that there in that scene, which is why I brought it up, where she touches the S and
Yeah.
she's like, "This means something," and I'm like, "Oh, it'd be nice if the movie even remotely showed us that at all."
Yeah.
You know,
Well, that was
it's so
the big
hollow and
takeaway from Man
empty.
of Steel. Yeah, is that the S stands for hope. I never felt that at all
And then we
in
never
that
see
first
it.
film.
Yeah, it's. I
Yeah.
think it was fine in the scene it came up because it was okay. We're
Mm-hmm.
halfway through the movie. It's his origin. By the end of the movie, he's going to prove that to the world. And then
Mm-hmm.
no.
He doesn't. Yeah. I hate this version of Doomsday as well, just because. I mean, I guess it's the easiest way to do Doomsday.
Well, I've been on rants in the past about how he just jumped to death as Superman because he didn't know
Yeah.
what else to do with Superman,
Right.
and I went on a huge rant on the Snyder Cut review because I hate that he did this knowing he was doing Justice League next, and there was nothing interesting about how they brought Superman back. There was no real good
Mm-mm.
plan for it. It was just we're going to raise him
No,
from the
to give.
dead.
Yeah, he's the pre-boss battle for the Justice League.
Effectively,
You know.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um, the sledgehammer and a big tire is that a good
Yeah.
workout session?
No, yeah, that's a type of workout that people do
Okay.
because you have to reset. You know. I
He's
mean, Alfred got jacked. You couldn't tell but look of him now. You know. But
I almost even know if there's much of a point of him getting jacked, other than this montage of him training, because when he's got the
yeah.
suit on, he's so padded
Well,
that you can't really see it.
yeah. If you gave me the same option, I would definitely take it. Like you're paying me to get ripped, sure. You know.
Ah, dear.
The man could flick you into the sun. I don't care how many tires and cleans and barbell bench
Well,
presses you do.
that's what the kryptonite spear and gas is all for, and that's
Yeah, I know, but still.
uh, yeah. So yeah, I took. Oh, that's right. The folder scene. The folder
Yep.
scene. This is how. Why do they all have logos? Why does the Flash have a logo when he's not even got an outfit yet?
He doesn't even have a name. Like it's not like they're like, oh, he's the Central City Flash.
Oh, oh, that just boggles my mind. This is what. This is one
I
of
do
the.
like to think.
This is one of the
Go
worst
ahead.
shoehorned in like
Yeah.
teases of a universe that I have ever
Uh,
seen in a movie. It is absolutely terrible.
um, to be fair, the WW for Wonder Woman comes from he wonders who this woman is. So that fits.
Oh dear. Um. Anyway, yeah. So yeah, jumping to the death of Superman, going straight to
Mhm.
Doomsday. Uh. Yeah, I hate all of that. I hate the decision. It's just rushing through plot and getting to big story beats that shouldn't happen until Superman's been way established for multiple movies
Yeah.
and whatever.
Well, and even here doing the Dark Knight Returns fight, there's your favorite song, Pete.
Oh,
Um,
hate it.
just real quick, the fact that in that picture Snyder wanted Wonder Woman to have a bevy of heads
Yeah, that's right.
that she's collected, I just can't.
Oh,
And also,
we almost saw Michael Shannon's cock there. It was a split hair away from his arm, just not been in the way for it. Unless it's,
oh,
I mean, it may not be. I mean, it may just be a dummy, I suppose, but like a really good dummy
so remind me, why is Zod's body here?
because they got it after he was killed. I guess Lex took it. Yeah, earlier on because they were using kryptonite
Right.
scalpels to cut into him.
Yeah, that's right.
Um, yes.
Oh
That
God, I
said,
hate
though,
him.
I'm almost missing the lamentation music
Yeah.
from Snyder Cut. Every time Wonder Woman would do or say anything, you'd get
So Connor told me to have my wife and our friend take a drink every time that came on.
uh
Yeah, and they thought he was kidding. That by the end of the movie you'll be a little bit tipsy.
huh.
They were not a fan of that song by the end of the movie.
Did they keep drinking for it, or did they realize it was going to be too much and stop?
Oh no, they kept drinking. Yeah, it got to the point where these two ladies do enjoy a drink from time to time. Went, again. I also remember Michael Shannon talking about how Doomsday had flippers and stuff. I don't know if you remember that interview, but
I
it cracks
forget.
me up.
I had forgotten it, but
Okay, he's invulnerable. You can't burn him, idiots.
I don't know. Using that imagery though, it just feels a bit cheap to me. Uh,
Yeah, well, 100%.
that's a bit cheap. Uh,
Like, I get he has to wear all these clothes to uptake, to keep up appearances, but technically Superman doesn't have to bundle, you know?
yeah. Um. Also, why was there a big trail in the snow already for him to walk through? He wasn't like walking through
Yeah.
fresh snow.
Can
Like,
consider,
I might just be
it's
movie
just,
making,
yeah.
caveats, but whatever.
See, and that's another thing that Superman would not run up to the Arctic when something like this was around.
Well,
He
that's that.
doesn't run from his problems.
Is he even going to the Arctic? I thought he was just wandering.
Well, yeah, wherever he was. I took the snow as he was
Uh,
heading back up there because that's where he found the first ship.
why? Well, as he's walking, he can fly. He walked to the Arctic.
Well, I mean, there was that whole Superman grounded
Uh,
story that
oh,
she's
Matt,
in
your
season
mic's
two.
starting to
Mm.
do its thing. Is this
Mm,
all Zod's flippers that are hanging from the?
may- Maybe. I just remember that interview and it cracked me up because I feel like he was just trolling people.
Does he think Superman's got flippers too?
Yeah.
Because he should technically.
See, well, at least she feels like she's doing, Lois Lane stuff here. Like it's not great Lois Lane stuff, but
It feels ultimately unimportant in the grand scheme of
yeah,
things, but I mean, yeah, it's giving her a plot.
yeah, yeah. See, this is an effective use.
All right, Barbara Gordon get a second scene.
So that's not who she is, by
No,
the way.
isn't
I
that?
looked it up because she's only in this cut, and it said, let me find the thing that I read.
Yeah. That was the long-standing rumors before the cut
Yeah,
came out. But yeah, fair enough. If she's not, she's not.
she plays Janet Clyburn, who's someone that works at Star Labs.
I mean, hey,
So they
like
pulled it deep.
given that Jimmy turned out to be this unnamed character who was shot and he's only
Yeah,
seen, it wouldn't have surprised me if this was Barbara Gordon. But I'm glad that it's not.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, her being Barbara Gordon, I think it'd be okay. Oh God, here we go. In essence, I don't hate the idea of the scene, but
I mean, you know what? When there's something that I can objectively say Smallville was better at, then you've got a problem.
yeah,
And Smallville was better at the Kents.
yep.
And I
I
hate
think
I hate giving Smallville points in anything, but
most most Superman on the screen has Kent's better than this.
hmm. But before this, Smallville was, I think,
Yeah,
the worst. I mean, I suppose you could say Superman 4 was technically worse, but
yeah.
yeah, in a sense that it just wasn't a really good presentation of Superman. But
I mean, again, I haven't revisited it, right? So I'm basing it off of 20-year-old
it was more
memories.
about poor quality and teenage like TV
Yeah,
tropes than it was about uh
right,
greatly misunderstanding the character. Although
right.
they did
Because
they did force a lot of like things that shouldn't have been in his life yet, just because it was they wanted to
on the show,
put in
yeah,
things from later. But by
yeah,
the time he becomes Superman at the end of season 10, he's already fought like Doomsday and like
yeah,
Brainiac and like
right.
tons of villains. It's weird, but yeah.
But no, John Schneider is a pretty good Pa Kent. You know, um, he's the type of Pa Kent that I enjoy. Oh, jeez. So from the start, Pa Kent was like the world's shit. Oh, but this girl's pretty, so there's good in the world. That's the moral of a story. I I don't see like I don't hate that. I don't hate that he goes
Ju-
up
the
here
the pro- the
to
prob
reconnect with his human dad.
the
You
pro-
know?
the problem with this arc is that this is the arc that he should have in the first movie. Is that he accepts that he should be important to Earth and he wants to do
Right,
good for it and wants to protect people. That should be
right,
his origin movie arc. But
right.
for some reason, he's kind of half-assing it in the second movie when it's more
Yeah,
focused on him fighting Batman
yeah.
until Doomsday shows up.
Man, we're how long into this now, and they still haven't done
We're
BVS. That's the
we're
name of the movie.
hour and 48 almost.
Good lord. No.
Steyer Cut only been an hour longer than this is almost a miracle, given how long
Yeah,
this is.
yeah. Oh, a, a fighting pit.
Oh,
Uh,
I wish I had a nice snack to make myself feel better.
I do, but it would be too loud and crunchy. So
Some
you
nice
know.
chocolate, or even a cake, a donut maybe, like
Mm,
something nice. I could,
yeah.
I
I
could.
I I, I had Kodiak cake Teddy Grahams, high in protein, shaped like bears because I'm a self parody at this point.
Oh, what Kodiak cake is? I'm just imagining a reel of film, but in cake,
Yeah,
made of cake.
not Kodak, Kodiak, like the bear, like the big grizzly
Okay,
bear
okay.
up in Alaska. Yeah, there. Oh, geez, Nancy Grace too. Yeah, she would hate Superman too, uh, just on the fact that he's an immigrant. Oh, good. See, Ma can't shutting off the TV. That's good.
That's the one good thing she does in the movie. She turns off
Yeah,
the TV.
shuts off Nancy Grace. Uh-oh. Oh, I dropped my quarter I've been playing with.
Matt's literally lost money in this movie.
I have.
That's what's just happened.
I mean, it's still there, but I have to bend over to get it out. I don't want to bend over.
I mean, if it's ever something that's a first world problem.
Oh, I hate his glowing eyes so much too.
Oh, these big metal cowl
Yeah.
and oh, terrible.
He looks like a Power Ranger villain. Oh, God. This is the first time we're seeing the bat signal light up, right?
Yep.
So Clark already brought up when they do your signal again, don't answer it. Which would mean that they know that Batman's not a myth.
Yeah,
Because
Jim Garn definitely knows that.
yeah. Uh this movie's internal logic is baffling. What's making his eyes glow? Does he have a digital screen in there?
You can see the signal in Metropolis from across
Yeah.
the water.
That's like having really bad neighbors
Uh,
and like, oh no, he's drinking again.
I
Police
mean,
gonna be called tonight for
I
sure.
don't like that Metropolis and Gotham are like right next to each other, but
No.
as far as the problems go in this movie, it's on the bottom of the
That's
list.
that's a F tier,
It's a minor
you know?
quibble, to be honest,
Yeah.
in the grand scheme of things. Because if they characterize Superman and Batman right, I would basically not
Yeah.
give a shit about the cities being
No.
next to each other.
Yeah. Well, and that would make sense, Like they're opposites. There's a dichotomy. Uh-oh, it's KG Beast.
Oh, here comes that Big Lex
Uh-huh.
music again. Dun,
Uh,
dun, dun.
That's how you spell through. That's how you spell through.
Oh, that's right. We have a scene here where Lex basically just explains his entire plan to Lois for some reason.
Yeah, because he has a villain monologue. Although to be fair, that is a pretty good Lex trait because he never thinks he's going to get caught. So it doesn't bother me as much. But again, it's the execution of it.
Yeah,
Uh,
but it comes out of nowhere relatively because it's like
yeah.
he's been such a just a working in the background character for the movie for the
Hmm.
most part,
Yeah.
and like he's never interacted with Lois before this scene, so it just kind of feels weird that he's
Yeah.
doing all this.
Man, what happened to Eisenberg after this? I haven't seen him in a while. Has he done anything? I'm sure he's done stuff. He's a working actor, but uh, it's like he knew exactly what she was going to say. He had the ready to go.
He read the script.
Yes, yeah. Oh, good trigonometry. Oh, yeah, he did a Zombieland too. Oh, there he is. Notice he's not catching her yet. He lets her free fall for like 200 feet. Oh, dear.
Whoa, no PS4 didn't do that.
Mm-hmm. Huh.
The PS4 was saying it was going to turn off in 5 minutes because I hadn't pressed any buttons in a while. Because I'm watching a movie. PS4, calm
Yeah.
down.
Well, your PS4 is just so used to you, constantly tapping buttons. How to make sure you're okay. Oh God. Dude bought an egg timer. Cool.
He's just an angry Superman. I will
Yeah.
take you in without breaking you, which is more than you deserve. That's a Batman line.
Yeah.
Superman has
This was
Batman lines,
Homelander.
and
Lex would have been done 20 minutes
I know.
ago.
Superman has Batman-esque dialogue, and Batman has serial killer dialogue. Like that's.
Oh God. Oh. See, and this is such a worldview that I feel that Snyder's throwing in there.
Well, he's a
And that's
nihilist.
not,
I mean,
yeah, and that's not problematic coming from Lex, but I just feel like all the layers here.
I love how Superman looks like he's in his black outfit in these close-ups
Yeah.
because the color is so.
So desaturated.
Yeah.
That is one of the things from the theatrical I do like is that they did brighten up his suit. At least it seemed. It felt like the blue and the red.
In Justice League, you mean?
Yeah. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
I had to specify which theatrical.
Yes.
Uh,
Hell, Snyder, that rogue bandit Snyder keeps coming in and recutting these movies, doesn't he? So.
Which has led to one of the most annoying things is movies have to come out and say they're not doing a director's cut now.
I know. Yeah,
like
because
Adam
Wingard had to say that. Yeah, there was technically more stuff in that we cut, but this is my director's cut, though. I mean, I made those choices because
this is what I wanted.
Yes, the theatrical cut is my director's cut. I made the choices to remove things because I thought they were, which is something that directors do a lot is they remove things because sometimes you don't see something that hurts the pacing or you see that something's redundant until you actually watch your first edit and go, you know what, there's a couple of things here I can take out and make it tighter, and like from there that's how you
my main problem with Kong versus Godzilla was that it wasn't long enough. Weirdly, I would have loved more of that movie. But
the best epic Godzilla vs Kong rather. The best epic Godzilla vs Kong is that there's a definitive winner and it's the right winner.
I'm disagreeing.
Definitive.
No. Yeah.
What's your argument on this, Matt?
I'm not going to have the argument while watching BVS where Superman just yelled, "Where is she?" as if he was Christian Bale.
Yes, but Kong got his ass whipped, and it was very definitive. Not get his ass whipped.
Much like myself, he kept going past the point where he should have,
and he still lost. He lost. Hey, they literally had the Martha scene.
Godzilla walked away because he was tired of dealing with him.
No, Godzilla walked away because he made his point and because he's not a killer, right? Let's make that clear. Godzilla had his foot on his chest and they yelled at each other like the Martha scene. That's what it was.
No. It was. I thought of this watching the movie. It was Taker and Brock in the famous laugh at each other scene. If you remember.
That's not what it was. I know what you're talking about, but it was not that. I disagree with that.
Still maintaining Kong did not bow.
Yeah, that Kong bows for no one line was terrible. It was there for the trailer. It was trash.
It was so we'll disagree because I'm in denial, and I know I'm in denial.
He loses at least twice in that movie, pretty definitively.
But it's still Kong's movie, and not Godzilla's. So
that's fair.
I'll hang my hat on that.
That is true. That's the worst part about it, but it is true.
And he got to wield an axe. I got to see Kong wield an axe. Come on, it's like they picked it up. Now, don't ask me to describe why or who built the axe and why it's in the center.
Well, no, I was fine with that. That's other Kong, these species before they get wiped out. Like they built this because it's a Godzilla like fin. Yeah. It's like Godzilla's race that his fin that's like on the axe. It's the blade.
Yeah. But just that whole temple and stuff, I'm like, I'm here for it. It's silly, and I love it. It's exactly what it wanted to be. And I'm glad that Adam Wingard came out and said that. To bring that back full circle. What's with the horror directors coming in and doing Kong in Godzilla? Like,
Because they're cheap directors, and the studio
yeah,
thinks, oh, we can pay them almost nothing, and they'll do the movie
yeah,
for us. That's what it is.
yeah. Because didn't Doherty do King of the Monsters?
Yes, he was Krampus.
Yeah,
Yes, and he went
yeah,
on to King of the Monsters, and then
yep.
of course Wingard did You're Next and The Guest.
And
Uh,
Blair Witch.
well, yeah, I was listening to these good movies, but yes, he also
Yeah,
did
yeah,
Blair
yeah. I
Witch.
know. He's primarily a horror guy.
Well, he's got two things lined up now. One is the Face Off sequel,
Yeah,
and the other one is Thundercats. So
yeah.
he's doing some big stuff that isn't horror
Oh,
at
yeah.
all now.
Well, and then the Kong guy, Jordan Vogt Roberts, is doing Metal Gear, which is like a dream
I
project for
mean,
him. So
I think that movie's pretty shoddily directed in places, so I'm not super excited about his future
I
work.
love it. I rewatched it right before Kong, and I was like, Pete's crazy. I love this movie.
The characters are so empty, it's unreal. Except Shea Wiggum, who has the best death in
Yes,
movie
he
history.
does. I forgot how murked John Goodman gets. I forgot he just gets eaten by a skullcrawler.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm gonna have to put a warning at the start of this. The
yeah,
spoilers for
it's
Godzilla
for
and Kong
Kong.
movies.
Yeah. Well, that's what happens when we have to watch BBS. We want to talk about GVK.
Hey, you know what? Godzilla vs Kong has a lot of problems.
Yeah,
Objectively, it's a really stupid movie, but
it's very stupid, but I love it because it's so stupid. This, I hate it because it's stupid.
well, the problem is though is this movie doesn't think it's stupid. This movie thinks it's a
That's
serious
true.
drama that's got a
Yeah,
lot to say, and it doesn't.
no,
Uh, it
that's what I
it's it
appreciate about the monster. I mean, with the exception of Godzilla and King of the Monsters, those have a message there. But like Skull Island and Godzilla versus Kong both know exactly what they are, and they're not
this movie.
trying.
In fact, Zack Snyder's filmography in general.
Yeah,
Stupid. More files that are teasing other movies. But
I
anyway, this movie and Zack Snyder's movies are the equivalent of what an edgy 12-year-old thinks is deep.
true.
That's what they come across to me. This is what a 12-year-old thinks is deep, but it isn't. It's surface level nonsense.
Real quick, so Cryptid Aquaman, he's just threatening with the spear with his trident. Quintet.
Yes.
I don't understand the scene. Oh, jeez. Also, he's got to do a better job at hiding his files.
Well, I think Bruce intentionally sent them to her. To,
Oh, that's right.
to
We were too busy talking about
yeah.
Godzilla versus Kong.
I am
That,
vastly more interested in talking about Godzilla versus Kong
yeah,
than I am talking about this movie anymore.
yeah. I will say that Godzilla versus Kong made me realize that maybe the theater shouldn't be open just yet.
Yeah.
Because I missed the theater experience. I did not miss the people. So, um,
But do you know what?
yeah,
Joe Martin is going to be going to my most watched actor of the year with this
yeah,
viewing, perhaps. Because I watched Speed not that long ago,
okay.
and then he popped up in King of the Monsters for like one
Mm-hmm.
scene, and then he was in the Snyder Cut, and now he's in this. This is my fourth
Yeah.
Joe Martin viewing
Jeez.
experience this year.
I just watched King of the Monsters last week too, but where did he pop up there?
Oh, he's at like there's like a little camp next to where Mothra is like hiding for most of the movie.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
He's just kind of there. There's almost nothing
Yeah.
to it, but he just happens to be there.
That's probably why I recognized the actor and then I instantly forgot because that movie starts moving.
Hmm.
That's people don't realize that, but Perry's wearing Jimmy's bow tie in memorial. Oh, God, how long has he been staring there?
I know he's been standing there waiting for Superman for ages.
He'll show up. Oh, he did superhero landing. My wife just texted me she's watching Civil War, and then added, good things?" And
I mean, so Civil War's middling for me, but it's better than this. I'll give you that.
I like Civil War, but you're right. I mean, just in the grand scheme of the Marvel movies, it's not in my top third.
I mean, have you watched the newest Falcon and Winter Soldier yet?
Yeah, but I have to rewatch it because I was so tired from doing my floor.
Yeah,
It didn't sync.
I really did not like that new episode.
Yeah, it
Uh,
has too much. I even talked to Mario, old school Mild Fuzz, who's a huge Bucky fan, and he even said there's too much going on.
Also,
For just
I kind of don't like that Zemo has become just this comic relief character mostly.
yeah, kind of
The,
undercuts him, and
the,
I kind of hate how the internet is doing this thing
the
where
dancing,
they
yeah.
not just that, like they find a character and then they glom onto him, and then just because it makes me hate that character when I shouldn't. Like the whole Agatha thing that came after WandaVision,
Oh sure.
she she became that character. I was like, okay, she was good, guys, but like we're driving this straight into. Um, Again, these are more me problems, as my therapist would say, than actual problems. Um, but yeah, um, no, Falcon and Winter Soldier, I'm enjoying for the most part. It's just there's too much to take in,
I
especially when you're watching it at 8:30 at night after a long, hardworking day.
Episode 1 was just okay. Episode 2 was better because the two characters got together and there was chemistry. But episode 3,
Mm-hmm.
like I was supposed to review it and I just didn't because I felt like halfway through the episode I just started zoning out and like looking at Twitter and
Yeah,
like I thought Sharon Carter feels kind of weird.
misused.
I wasn't like I
Yeah,
don't know. I'm not feeling it thus
yeah.
far. It's kind of bland and uh the Marvel movies having bad villains is extending to the TV shows because uh
I don't. I like the Flag Smasher concept. I just wish we got it was more clear. It's
the
just not clear right now.
the characters are just every time it cut to him, I just sort of sighed because it was like just so dull and
Mhm.
um, it's that thing where they had to go out of their way to make them like bomb a building with people in it because otherwise they're worried that
Yeah,
we make sympathize with the anti-nationalists too much because we can't have an anti-nationalist message in our
yeah,
American TV
yeah.
show.
Where the heroes are both part of the military. It's
Yeah.
mm, oh god,
Aye, so the kryptonite gas has affected Superman.
yeah.
He's taking a beating right now. Uh,
Which I would argue he would not need that big old suit if he knew that it was going to work.
that's a fair point. Yes, I guess the big old suit's just to survive until he does work.
Yeah,
I guess.
except he led with it. So
Well, this is the
uh,
thing. In Dark Knight Returns, Superman isn't portrayed as powerful as he is in this set of movies. Where
no,
because there's a moment coming up in a minute where when Batman
Mhm.
punches him, the effect is worn off and his head doesn't even flinch when he gets punched with
right.
the metal suit. And I just kind of like, you've made him so unseemingly powerful that
Oh,
there's
and
nothing
I
that can
always
touch
read,
him.
yeah, I always read the Dark Knight Returns. Also, Clark's not trying because he really doesn't want to fight Bruce.
Yes.
You know, and then you add the whole Kryptonite arrow
Well,
aspect of
to be
it.
fair, this fight starts that way because Clark tries to talk him down, but as soon as he
Yeah,
gets a couple of punches in, he just
yeah,
says, "Oh, screw this," and starts fighting him.
yeah,
Because they have the temper of 12-year-olds.
yes,
We're back at that 12-year-old comparison.
yeah,
I think it's here where he just stops reacting.
yeah,
Yeah.
right there. And he looks like a serial killer.
Which one?
Yeah, I should clarify. Superman.
Yeah.
Where he's like, "I got you where I want you now." Uh, Also, he's Superman. He should not have such an issue picking up the big suit. Like that should have been one-handed. Because that's the thing. If you want to make Superman a threat, I feel like he's holding back too. Oh, he has to charge up though. Fighting game rules.
He's not quite maybe 100% yet. I mean,
Yeah,
he's taking the punches. I don't know. I'm trying to play devil's advocate. I don't really care because I
yeah,
hate
yeah.
it.
But see, also, this is why I have such an issue with Clark and Man of Steel and the whole argument of, oh, he's still new. He doesn't know. Well, he's been at this now for 18 months. He has a pretty good concept of how his powers work. You know,
There's
you
a
tell me he couldn't have dodged that grenade?
there's a fine line between a natural assumption that makes sense in the story and just
Yeah,
headcanoning something to explain a mistake. There's a very fine line between these two
true.
things.
But I'm just saying, the second grenade shouldn't have landed as it. Oh wow, I forgot he got synced.
Batman brought everything, including the
Exactly.
kitchen sink.
Which if I thought Zack Snyder was capable of jokes, oh no,
What the hell is
oh
this?
not an inverted backbreaker.
No, is this a Razor's Edge? He's going to do a Razor's
Oh, this is a
Edge.
Razor's Edge off the yeah.
The bad guy.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a flipping
Oh, it's
Razor's
not quite a
Edge.
Razor's Edge. It's just
Yeah.
a you know a body dump. Which reminds me, after this, I'm gonna try to watch the Johnny Gargano match on NXT. Now that I can watch NXT again.
Oh, yes. Um, Dynamite was just okay this week. After
Yeah,
after 3 weeks of great episodes, this one was a bit of a downer. But
I thoroughly enjoyed the main event just because of how it
sure.
ended. And
I thought the Jericho
for sure,
promo.
Mox is coming for blood
Oh,
next
sure.
week during that Death Triangle.
I did love Kingston coming out, and I loved
Yeah.
Jericho's promo where he went through
Mm-hmm.
the inner circle. Went through Pinnacle. It was
Yep.
good. I think the women's match and the TNT title match were both surprisingly solid.
The women's match. So I remember people saying that the women's division was a weak point. Now I felt like I can count on the number of on my hand the number of women I look forward to seeing every week and get bummed out because there's not enough space. Even if women had multiple,
Yeah.
like
Oh
you
yeah.
know,
I mean, Brett's like one of my favorites now. Like Brett needs to be on TV more. It's just
100%. Like
um.
I didn't get to see Thunder Rosa this week, and she's one of my all-time favorites.
I mean, I think
But it was
Thunder
okay.
Rosa is a weird case because she's still technically NWA and they've started back up again.
Yeah.
So
But
I
I'm
think
just saying,
she's
like,
just absent because of that, not because they're not.
yeah. But I'm just saying, like, I got to see Britt Baker. I love Ted Conti, the Bunny,
She's
like,
improving. Yep.
yeah, Sheeta, and then, yeah, just
Statlander with the best friends as
Stat,
well.
yeah, Statlander. So, like, yeah, no, I thought it was a pretty solid episode. So, um, but yeah, no, just that main event part, a lot more effective and emotionally thing than what we're watching right now. You know, like the actual look of through Matt Jackson's face, the conflict.
I thought it was a little bit sloppy in how back and forth it went, but still better than this, obviously.
Yes. Where'd you say that?
Oh, here we go. Let it be known that 2 hours 11 minutes in is when the Martha scene happens.
And I always
Right. So Batman researched and figured out that Clark Kent is Superman, but he never noticed that his mother's name was Martha.
they share. This is what I argue with my friend about, who will say that this movie's not as bad as I make it out to be. But I always bring up this that so he's fully prepared to kill Superman, right? But bringing up his dead mom, the name, is enough to stop him from killing a man.
Just because they're showing the pearls again, right? Which, by the way,
Yeah.
the fact that this movie's shown them twice is laughable in and of itself.
Yeah.
But like he had to do this thing where the pearls get wrapped around the back of the the trigger, right?
Right.
And I'm like, surely the bullet can just hit the pearls, and that can be why they shatter.
It's needlessly brutal.
Yes.
You know.
That's right. He's got a mother. He's just like you, Bruce.
Right, and that's what drives me nuts.
This is so stupid.
That's my mom too.
Like,
are we brothers?
It never occurred to me as a mother. I never found out that his mother's name was Martha. And it's like, oh wait, yeah, I'm not supposed to be a serial killer. Why am I trying to murder this man?
Right.
That's what this scene is.
Well, that's Chekhov's kryptonite spear now.
Yeah. I wonder how many people are mad that we talked about Godzilla vs. Kong and then wrestling for like 15 minutes just to pass the time because the movie's boring.
and I now that I can say this now that season, if I ever have to hear the Mothra Martha joke again, I will go full Batman in murder.
Do you know what?
I was so tired of that joke 3 years ago.
Right, I love the joke when I was watching the movie because there's a scene that plays out like the Martha scene, so it was hard not to
Yes,
think about Mothra. Okay.
and that's fine, Pete. But the number of people I saw that kept sharing it and thinking they were clever, I'm glad it's done. We never have to deal with it again.
Martha won't die tonight. Like, I get that he wants him to phrase it that way because it's like, he's going to save this Martha. He couldn't save his own,
Right.
right? But sounds really weird in English because he would say, "Don't worry, your mother won't die tonight." Would be
Right.
what he'd actually say, or your mum won't die, or I won't let her die, or something, whatever. The way he phrases it is so awkward just to have the Martha won't die tonight.
Yeah. He could have said "You're Martha," you know, where he almost personalizes it.
He got changed into his other outfit really quickly there.
Yeah. Well, he just had to shed the things like a.
Oh, was he wearing this underneath his armor? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's how
Okay.
I always thought.
From this point on, Lois's inclusion in this movie is really silly. This
Very much
thing,
so.
the one thing on Earth that can kill the love of my life and the world's most important superhero, I'm just going to throw it into a random pool of water. And then, in about 10 minutes' time, she's going to somehow hear Batman say in his Batwing that they need the spear for something to kill Doomsday, and she tries to get it back and then almost drowns and needs to be saved. The whole thing is just a complete cluster.
It's very, as you'd say, contrived.
Contrived, yes, very contrived. People love to praise the fight scene that's coming up with Batman when he's saving Martha, and I do think some of it's pretty good. The problem is, of course, is that it is a bit needlessly brutal in places, which is, I mean, the fact that he's just
This
like, bombing these cars with the people in them is, in of itself.
another one of my friends likes to say, "This is the most pure Batman ever on screen," and I was like, "All right, if you say so. I'm not have the argument anymore. If it makes you happy, have it. Like it's the probably the least egregious thing with Batman in this movie."
Yeah.
Yeah, the Batwing design looks a little. I don't hate it, but it doesn't seem to me like a Batwing.
It's fine. I have no real
No, it feels like
preferences.
one of the Kryptonian ships, though. Like it's just.
Because I mean, you can go to, because 89 Batman is literally just the bat symbol that can fly,
Yeah,
and it's a bit too cartoony almost.
yeah.
To have it be
I mean, it was
exactly that
almost like
shape.
it was designed just to sell toys. See, like this is pretty Batman. Like I'll give him that.
Yeah, putting little devices on all the guns to stun them
Yeah,
all. It's when he starts literally stabbing people with blades that I start to have a
yeah.
bit of a problem. Or even just this, like, making them fire the gun.
Using the gun to
Yeah.
yeah.
I forgot he did that, to be honest. So I hate that part.
Yeah.
But
He just scorpioned this man.
get over here.
Yeah. That comes out this week, huh?
And no, it's it
Next
get
week?
pushed a week, I think. So
Ah, dang it!
it's
I got
it's like
excited.
it's the 20 something now of the month.
Ah, dang it!
Well, it's close though. It's just a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. That trailer is super solid.
I'm
The
not
movie might disappoint me,
I'm not
but it looks fun.
excited, but I am definitely curious.
Yeah,
I'm definitely curious.
I am glad that Makad Brooks is getting other roles other than Jimmy Olsen. You know.
Sure, sure. Uh, the small parts, like I like him like whipping
Yeah,
the box at someone, and uh,
yeah. This feels like Batman to me. You know,
yeah,
like
snapping. So well, not snapping, but like
no,
breaking some arms.
yeah. That I mean,
That's
it
fine.
happens. I mean,
No, this though, him punching the guy's head
the
like 4 times.
yeah,
That's a
no.
bit excessive.
One, I remember watching the special features on Batman Begins, and they had brought in the guy that came up with his fighting style, and
Yes,
he said that his version of Batman in his head is super efficient, so he doesn't
for
do any
sure.
like jump kicks and stuff just because he's trying to no wasted movement. Um,
Yeah, I think part of what I like about Batman, or how the fighting style should be, is that he does enough to put people down so they won't
yeah,
continue fighting, but he's not there to
but then he
inflict.
moves on, right?
Yeah.
Like so him just going
So
ham on that dude's head.
So sadly,
Doesn't tell.
there's like chunks of this fight that fit Batman's fighting style, but then
Mhm.
there's other parts where he's just excessively violent for
Yeah.
no reason. Especially since that's,
Which
and if the arc of this movie is that he's went too far and that reconnecting with his human side through Superman's conflict is what's going to bring him back to being who he really is, then why is all this excessive violence happening after that scene?
right. And now he's pointing a gun at the bad guys. I'll drop you.
I'll do it. I
Yeah.
kill her. High five.
Tommy Wiseau shows up. Oh my god, Tommy Wiseau's KG Beast. I do like that he wraps her with the cape.
Sure.
That's pretty good. But like you were talking about Batman being excessively violent.
Yes.
That's one of my big issues with Watchmen.
Oh,
Is
for sure.
that
Well, that's the number one complaint about the Watchmen movie is that the point of the comic is to show like how like what violence and the glorification of it can do to society,
right.
and then the movie because the whole point of the
It's
Rorschach
like,
character is to show how flawed he is, but the movie
right.
is like no, Rorschach's cool and violence is cool.
This dude's badass, right?
Yeah, that's the tone of the
yeah.
movie. So
No.
that's just a Snyder problem through and through that is
Yeah.
consistent. I mean, this is the dude that made 300 after all.
But see, for me, stylistically, it fits 300 because when you break that down, that's someone telling a story of what went down. So you could there's room for embellishment, you know. Oh God, I kind of always disagree with people saying that he's more Joker than Lex. Upon this rewatch, he's definitely channeling a Joker of some kind.
How's there 40
Especially
minutes?
right there.
How's there 40 minutes left?
Yeah.
How's there 40 minutes left of this movie? I mean, I know at
We
least
still
10
gotta
minutes.
get.
There'll have to be at least 10 minutes of credits. So it's
Yeah.
more like 30. But even 30 minutes, all that's left is the Doomsday fight and Superman's like funeral. That's really what we've
Yep.
got left.
Yep.
Unless I'm
I
forgetting
forgot to
stuff.
mention the point where I didn't know if my garage was still open, and
Oh, sure.
that was about when the bomb went off. So however long ago that was. Oh God.
There's a lot of tentacles on the roof for some reason. I don't know.
Yeah. See, and I wish that Jenny Olsen actually had stuff to do outside
They
of just
get a
yelling.
lot of real like TV hosts to be on the TV
He
screens
did.
during this. I just noticed
I
another
mean,
one.
but really, when someone gives you the opportunity to be in a Superman Batman movie, you're gonna say no,
Yeah, it's not like they were getting shown the whole script to see what it was like. They just
right?
came in and said their one news line.
Oh boy,
Uh, it
they
looks
could
like
have had this.
it looks like a troll from Lord of the Rings or something.
Yep. I'll say right there, he reminded me more of Parasite than
Sure,
Doomsday.
it looks so generic.
Yeah. I mean, it's so many different versions they could have done with this. Kryptonian biological weapon.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to see the Doomsday that starts out in the outfit and then the
Yeah.
spikes start to rip through it. Give me that Doomsday, you cowards!
Yeah.
You hear me, Snyder? You're a fucking coward.
What is little teethers?
So I think eventually
Also,
some spiky bits do come out, but I mean,
yeah.
it's never full Doomsday looking.
But how different is this design from Steppenwolf? Besides the hat, you know, it's not far off.
I see what you mean. Like the core face is very
Yeah.
similar. Yeah.
And again, just this whole vibe here reminds me more of Parasite.
Or even Abomination from Incredible
Yeah.
Hulk would be
Yeah.
another comparison. He's just super generic.
He's just a monster.
There's this weird thing that movies do often where they'll take designs from comics or whatever and
Mhm.
they'll just turn them more generic. Obviously most famously is Galactus into a shit cloud, but
Yeah.
or even Parallax as well. Now I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
But
Parallax was that was the Dookie Cloud.
Doomsday
all
don't got a dick.
yellowish.
Look, he's no dick.
Yeah.
He's lacking
That's
a
why
dick.
he's so angry.
Where's my dick? Where's my dick? Where is it?
I will find it. Uh,
POTUS giant.
yeah, so if this is Manhunter,
when did people start saying POTUS? I feel like it only really started in the last decade.
I blame Twitter because that's the
Is it Twitter? Yeah, I think it's Twitter that did this. Because there was a small window of time where I'd never heard POTUS before, and I started seeing it. I was like, what the hell does POTUS mean? And then obviously I saw it assigned to the president. I went, oh, I get it. President of the United States. Cool. But, like, I'm like, this never used to be a thing. Like, you don't see people in movies in the 70s talk about the POTUS.
No. No, it's Mr. President, you know? Or the president.
Yes.
So here's the thing, too. If that's supposed to be Martian Manhunter, so my understanding is this is supposed to be Martian Manhunter as the soldier, right? That's not just the appearance that he takes to leave.
Yeah, no, I think from what I've seen online, it seems to be the implication is that he's always been Martian Manhunter throughout the movies.
And so he just lets all this happen for what reason?
Yes. Which is why it's really funny at the end of Justice League, where after all the fighting's happened, he's like, oh, by the way, I've decided that I want to take part and like help save the world now. Oh, after all the fighting, you dick. That's great. Oh, look, a big red shockwave.
So, wait, why?
Just decimating like lots of land. This is the problem, right? This is just like an action scene problem. Is that all of this fight in a minute is going to be mostly just in a CG cloud of debris. There's going to be like no geography to really like sort of place where anyone is. And it's not the problem's not that it's CG per se, because like I don't think people realize that the last act of the Avengers is mostly CG in the background. It's green screen, a lot of it. But there's a sense of like locations because it's buildings, because we can get our heads around it. A lot of what we're going to see in a minute is just going to be in a generic big square with like CG rubble. And End of Wonder Woman had the same problem. Like the fight with the End of Wonder Woman is just this really
in the cloud.
Yeah.
Against Ares. Yeah. I don't know if you guys heard the clapping behind me, but I'm pretty sure the helicopter scene in Civil War just happened. And my wife's very, very happy.
Yes. Better hope Chris Evans never does an OnlyFans, because your wife will be flooding it with
She already has the money set aside just in case. It's fine.
Did she see when he accidentally put out a dick pic? Did she go hunting for that?
I'm shaking my head yes for the audio listeners. They sought it out, and I wouldn't expect anything else. Our friend got her a pillowcase of the helicopter scene, so you know she can fall asleep on Chris Evans' bicycle. I don't even fault her.
Yeah, there's a reason why I never just share my computer desktop. Not that I've got dick pics on my computer desktop, but the idea being that just in case I've thrown something on the desktop that no one's supposed to see, I'm never sure. I'm never sure it's safe, so I never do it. So
I'm getting confirmation if the scene happened.
Okay. We'll hear from
right now, just
from the living room. I completely forgot that they tried to hit Doomsday with a nuke.
Yeah.
or whatever just happened.
No wonder so many people are so upset with Superman. He's it's because of him they're starting to launch nukes at cities. Oh, then why was she clapping?
Maybe he just showed up. Maybe he was in a tight shirt or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe I don't know.
What is it with Snyder and destruction porn? It's just
he loves it. I mean, I guess it's better than actual porn that kind of shows up in Watchmen.
It just all feels the same though. Is the problem with it? There's no
Projectile 2. No, apparently they were watching a TikTok and that's why they were clapping. So I have no idea what's going on. My life is a lie. Well, here we go.
So it's his skin that rips off to reveal some craggy
so I
parts.
can kind of playing with the Doomsday mythos of, he develops ways so you can't kill him the same way again.
Why does he have Speed Force powers?
I don't understand that, however.
The beam out of the sky. He's done the beam out of the sky. I hate this, Matt. I hate this. The generic beam out of the sky, the third act superhero action movie thing. I hate it. Oh, Superman looks like a zombie. Yeah, Speed Force powers. The beam out of the sky. I'd forgotten this movie had the beam out of the sky. Oh dear. Uh, Batman's like, oh no. Maybe I should have saved my kryptonite for this bad boy. Does Doomsday usually have heat vision?
No,
Yeah, I don't think so.
no, because he's a full physical being. Like
Yeah, yeah.
he was a Kryptonian experiment, like a mad scientist, to create the ultimate survivor.
Yeah, Batman mentions the spear here on the comms to Alfred in the Batwing. And if I remember correctly, we just have Lois kind of realize that they're going to need the spear, like separately,
Right.
even though she's like obviously not in this conversation, she's not got comms. She just kind of realizes it next time we see her, I think. I'm curious to see if I remember this even remotely accurately, because it definitely ain't good.
Oh, I forgot about this scene.
Oh yeah, it
And he has to
turns.
be reinvigorated by the sun.
I like him being reinvigorated by the sun. I don't
Yeah.
like that he looks like a zombie from Dawn of the Dead before it
Yeah,
happens.
that's not a good.
And why does he
I mean,
look?
I do like this.
And he looks evil when he wakes up as well. Why does he
Uh,
constantly look evil? He's always scowling. I'm supposed to be rooting for him to come and save everyone.
this is my big problem. When he finally gets killed, I did not feel anything. I should feel
No,
something with my favorite hero. You know.
this is the thing. We come into movies, and it's the movie's job to make us care when things happen to the characters by the third act, right? But here's the thing
Right.
about it: is we come into this movie loving these characters from other things, and it actively strips away our caring about them. This does the opposite, which is impressive. And that awful Wonder Woman theme is
Yeah.
disastrous. I hate it. I hate it so much. Here comes Superman. Okay, explosions, just wall of fire. But okay, of course, the entire like power plant or whatever it was just went up in flames. Of course it is. Firefly. Why are you trying to disturb everything, cat?
And now I have to send a. My friend just took umbrage with me that I said that I didn't care that Superman dies in this, and I'm looking for the "Why are you booing me? I'm right" gift, but that's gonna take too long. So
Yeah, so here's Lois looking for the staff now. Why does she know they
yep,
need it? I don't know. Maybe she just came to the same conclusion, but
yeah.
actually, there's
Am
a
I holding the spear? Like, I'm supposed to be so excited that the Trinity's on
I
screen for
know.
the first time ever.
There's a stupid joke here.
Yeah.
Is she with you? I thought she was with you. Um, just for the record, Batman has been speaking to her throughout the movie. He knows who she is. Why is he saying that line? It doesn't make
Is it because
sense.
he doesn't understand humor, so he thinks that's the joke? Because he doesn't realize that Clark doesn't know, right?
Okay,
Like,
yeah, like, but he's talked to her. He's seen the footage of her being immortal or whatever from the
yeah.
photographs. Oh look, more buildings are just evaporating.
Oh, here we go. Lois is gonna get stuck.
That shield's durable. I'll tell you, tell you
Yeah.
that much. It's withstanding a hell of a lot of Doomsday's heat vision. See, like part of what would make Doomsday feel more real is that if behind him there was like recognizable things, but it's just CG
Right.
fire, so it just like
Right.
it just makes the whole thing feel like a cartoon instead of just him.
Well, it feels like a cutscene from a video game,
Yeah,
and not a good one. You know.
I think integrating CG and practicals is important. So I
Yeah.
think this might not sound like much, but I think having like a real background like projected behind
Hmm.
him, like a real city street or something, would
Yeah.
add a lot, or at least something that looks like a real city street.
Right.
At the
Not
very
not a big
least.
hole in the ground.
Because this
like a
this
debris field.
yeah, this is just like a big square of debris now with CG
Yeah,
fire and smoke, and it just has that green screen look to it the entire time. It never looks better than that.
Batman, what are you gonna do?
He's got one kryptonite grenade left. He's gonna.
Yeah,
I remember watching this thinking Aquaman was going to like save her. Like
yeah, me too.
I thought, oh, this is going to have a little Aquaman cameo.
Yeah,
I
and the
actually
old
don't remember
moment
how
with
she gets out.
CPR.
Did she get out on her own? I can't remember. Or does no?
That is the one thing that I was missing from the Snyder cut was the scene with Aquaman sitting on the lasso and
Mm.
pouring his heart out.
Yeah, not all
Uh,
of the humor. I mean, some of the humor that added was quite bad, but not all of
yeah,
it was terrible.
no,
Uh,
I liked that scene. Just Momoa sold it.
Also, because I hate this movie so much, I did enjoy the callback to "Do you bleed?" You know, and then
Yeah,
Batman's like, "I'm something's definitely bleeding." Like, I actually kind of like that joke in the theatrical cut,
yeah.
but you know, it is what it is.
See, Lois going and getting herself in trouble.
Yeah.
Another damsel scene. Like I wish she like it would have been cool if she would have just saved herself somehow. Like, ugh, but no.
I mean, I at least I'd kind of forgotten what traps are down there. Is that the buildings going up trapped are
Right.
there. In my memory, she just kind of got herself trapped, so it's at least a little
Mm.
bit better than I remembered. But
Yeah,
uh, that's it. Yeah, I mean, like,
her him shaking her awake though. A little bit rough times. Man, I can't believe the battery in this is really good. My headphone. I thought
oh,
I'd have to switch out by now, but we're going.
hey, you know, if it can make the full
Yeah,
3 hours, then you can
yeah.
be happy
It's also
about
the
it.
longest I think I've ever watched anything on an iPad.
Sure.
Definitely
Yes. The way Batman v Superman was meant to be seen
was
on
meant right.
on a 10-inch screen.
I mean, I think the longest was an overtime hockey game the other night when I was out of town. Uh, that went to a shootout. Oh,
I
boy,
don't know. Some of our comics podcasts go 3 hours plus. Did you ever watch hockey? Have it on the iPad during the whole thing?
no, not that long. Usually, I try to pay attention and I can miss the first period, but if we keep going into the second or third, that's when it has to go on. You know. But luckily, having a West Coast favorite team, there's not too many early when we record, so it hasn't been an issue yet. Talk to me when playoffs
See, look
start.
at Wonder Woman smiled there, like she was like, "Oh man, this is actually a good fight." Like she's actually into it.
Yeah,
Like she's showing more emotion in this fight than Superman has the whole movie.
yeah. And again, but that weirdly fits the character. I forgot about the lightning speed forcey thing.
Yeah, the fact that he's got lightning shooting out of him constantly.
Yeah.
Look at it. It looks like what was that villain in Williamson's Flash towards the end of his run that we hated?
The
The one who
paradox.
yeah, the one who tried to like erase everything from the timeline.
Yeah,
Uh,
paradox.
the paradox. That's what he's reminded me of right now. With all the lightning.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, did you read Flash last week?
I did, yes.
Was it worth it?
There, there was when it brings up things you don't want to hear about, it's really
Yeah.
frustrating. But there was a lot of
Uh-huh.
good stuff in it too. I will say
Okay.
there's a couple of quality Jurassic Park references that I think you'll enjoy.
I might have to go and I haven't been to the shop yet this week because I've been busy.
It's the sort of
Maybe I'll
thing
pick
where you're
it.
going to be finishing it and saying, I hope that by the time this arc is done, we'll never have to
Yeah.
hear about Heroes in Crisis or Wally finding himself ever again. But there was moments of like hope, like in it. I think.
That's good. Oh boy.
But
Also,
I've not read Green Lantern yet, and you seem to be positive on that on Twitter. So
brother,
you've got me optimistic.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. Oh no. I was hoping they were gonna punch each other to death. You know, the most brutal Zack Snyder way that. But no, he gets stabbed right through the S shield.
Uh-huh. That's how much I care about
Yep.
Superman's death scene here. I'm yawning. Is
Yeah.
it?
Did I leave my garage open?
Well, it's easier for you to check now, I suppose.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't require leaving the theater, hopping in the car, driving for 10 minutes.
It looks like an orc from like
Yeah,
World of
from The
Warcraft or
Hobbit
something,
though, not the.
or the Hobbit even.
Yeah. Oh no, he died.
He
He
died.
definitely will not show up. 3.5 hours into the Snyder cut.
The only compliment I'll give to this is that the music that plays from here till the end is
Mhm.
probably the best music in the
Yeah,
movie. Because a lot of it I actively don't like, and I usually love Hans Zimmer scores.
yeah.
And even Junkie
I
XL,
do.
I enjoy, like, because
Yeah.
Junkie XL did Mad Max Fury Road, and that's a great score.
Mhm.
So, um,
I do like Zimmer's Superman theme, though. Even that one's still.
yeah, I think his Clark theme could blend seamlessly
Mhm.
with the Williams Superman theme
Yeah.
in a movie. Like, you could easily package them both
Mhm.
together, and I think it would work perfectly.
Yeah.
Uh, if only the
Well, Bruce, this is
character.
your fault. You created a kryptonite spear. It's not even. Man, I only wish that Lex had created the spear. You know?
But he was too busy creating Doomsday.
Yeah. But like him creating the spear just to, insult to injury, I guess. I don't know.
I cannot believe that Snyder didn't go out of his way to have the cape on the stick, like a flag,
Yeah.
like the
Yeah.
comic. I am shocked that he didn't somehow do that. And I wouldn't
Well,
complain because, like, obviously if we're going to do Death of Superman, that
it
visual's
it
iconic with it.
fits. Yeah.
But
Yeah. I don't know. This just makes me mad that I get weepy during the portal scenes out of happy tears in Endgame. And in here, I'm just kind of like irritated.
how it
You
happens,
know?
that Nightwing issue 1 a couple of weeks ago. I
Yeah.
had happy tears
Yeah.
at points during that issue, and I feel
Like
nothing
here, I
from
should be
this.
mourning along with Lois,
And
and
it's
I'm
just
I'm
I
just
think
not.
it simply comes down to Zack Snyder's characters just fit into his nihilistic worldview, and that maybe made some amount of sense, even though I don't like his Dawn of the Dead that much. I think the original
Hmm.
is vastly superior, which is oddly far more hopeful despite its, like, very strong
Right.
satire.
Well,
Whereas
yeah, because that's
here,
Romero, though.
but you take that director, you take this nihilistic director, and you give him Superman, and you give him the Justice League characters, and you get this thing where even when one of them is dying, I don't feel anything for him.
Right.
Uh, I remember this. Is this them going after Lex or something? What's this?
Uh,
It must be, right?
yeah. They're recovering something.
What are they looking for? Oh, I forgot there's a
Oh no,
Steppenwolf
it's
tease.
Steppenwolf.
I completely forgot that was in this. Was in this. I completely forgot there was a tease of.
No, I think that no, that was in the that wasn't in the theatrical.
Was it not? Okay.
This is something they added.
Because yeah, when this showed up at the start of the Snyder Cut, I didn't
Yeah.
recognize it. So
And also, why did they have to shave his head?
ah, because he loves his hair.
I
So I think that'd be funny. I don't know.
and they bicked it for him. Besides just the it's Lex Luthor. He has to be bald.
Hmm. Oh, she got like 18 minutes. Yeah,
Hmm.
but so at least 10 minutes of credits. Then is what we're saying. Well, let's say that music, that sad version of the Clark theme. Imagine we actually gave a shit about this death. This music would be hitting some notes right now.
Hmm.
But nope. You gave me a movie where no one cares about him, and even in death, we don't
Right.
see any reactions from people who, other than
Right.
Lois, but we don't see any reactions from anyone
Well,
on Earth
right.
who he is inspired or who he's changed minds.
Right.
It's completely. I mean, look, no, there's a shot of a newspaper about Kennedy's death to try and compare it to
Right.
JFK because that'll be the shortcut that he can take as a
Yeah.
director to say, hey, this is how
Well,
important it is.
yeah, it's also because he's so preoccupied with making him into a Jesus figure
Mm-hmm.
that you have to have the sacrifice in people more than the sacrifice just
Oh,
because it was
don't worry.
sacrifice.
I have been on some serious rants recently about
Yeah,
how every movie of his has to have sacrifice in it because that's the only thing
yeah,
Zack Snyder knows how to do to create
yeah.
drama. The sacrifice. Uh,
So now this is that Clark died in Metropolis, right? That's what the story is here.
presumably, yeah. How are
And
they
that's
ever going
supposed
to explain why he's back after Justice League? We'll
yeah.
never know because they're not doing
Well,
any more
no, because
movies.
Clark Kent, to me, Clark Kent's dead.
He just stays
Superman's
dead.
back.
Is that what you're saying? Yeah.
That's what I think.
Okay. Well, I don't know if that's what we're going to do, and we'll probably never
Yeah.
know because uh, I hope we never know. More to the
No,
point.
yeah,
You can take your restore the Snyderverse and shove it.
yep.
Uh, I want the Tommy Wiseau. I want Tommy Wiseau to come in and like dub all the voices and re-edit it. I want
So
that
it's
version.
just the pet the flower shop scene where he pets the dog.
Lois, what are you doing?
Put
Oh, hi, Clark.
your stupid opinion in your back pocket. That's Bruce's line.
So, Clark, how's your sex life?
Now you made me want to watch The Room.
You're my favorite customer. He was going to propose.
So here we get a almost proposal, and then in the Snyder cut, there's a is she pregnant?
Which is really overdoing it now when you think
Yeah,
about them both together.
yeah. Because I get it. They've been together for 18 months, and then Justice League, it's been a couple months. You'd assume.
I
Uh,
can't remember what it says the time span is at the start of Justice
yeah.
League. But, I mean, obviously she has to already be pregnant. If she's pregnant, she's already pregnant now because he's
Right.
dead. So,
Right.
and she's not exactly showing in Justice League. So at
No,
most it can be what?
that's why it has to be right.
Like, even saying that it's been 4 months in Justice League's a bit of a stretch, really.
Right. Right.
How dare they use bagpipes? The instrument of my
Yeah.
people. How dare they?
Which is typically at a military funeral. Yet,
I guess he's getting a
you know,
military funeral because
yeah.
he's Superman.
Which again, the U.S. government tried to deem him as a threat.
But now they're claiming him because he's dead.
Yeah. Right. Why didn't you do anything, John? Oh, there was a lot of fire.
Oh, true.
Uh,
Yeah, he was scared of the
yeah.
fire. You're right. You're right.
Yeah. Full military funeral for Superman. Oh man.
But who did they give the
That would have been a stretch even in the 40s when he was actually fighting
uh
Nazis.
who did they give the flag to? I don't remember.
They should give it to Martha because he wasn't married.
Well, yeah, but they don't know Martha's his
Oh, that's
mum.
right. They gave it to
Jean. Yeah,
Manhunter.
Martian Manhunter's got it. Apparently, he'll pass it
You're
on.
right.
He'll go see who his family is.
Yeah.
Who's this hipster priest here? He's looking a bit. But this guy could equally be like one of Jesse Pinkman's friends from Breaking Bad.
Yeah. Not Badger, the other one.
Yeah.
I'm not a I'm not a typical pastor. I'm a cool pastor.
Ah,
Oh, jeez.
Bruce Wayne taking care of that funeral bill.
And the house.
Hmm
That
Which,
makes
wait, how did she get kicked out of the house then by the bank in in Justice League if the house has been paid for?
yeah.
I thought.
That's well, no. He buys the house in Justice League is what I was referencing.
Oh sure, but okay, so she didn't
Yeah.
just say anything there about the house. Okay,
Yeah. No,
okay.
that makes Bruce her sugar daddy. Oh wait, there's a Harold Kent.
also a Bark Bent.
Yeah.
That was a pilot for a show called Super Pup.
Oh.
I know this because the pilot's on the Superman box set. If you want to check it
Oh.
out,
Oh, look at that.
a dog version of Superman. It was made for kids.
But he's not crypto.
No, he's Bark Bent.
Yeah. Jesus. The 70s, right? I just wanted to go, this is your fault. Well,
Yeah, I mean there was
30 years before.
there was a period in 1984 where I became a bit
Yeah.
more prominent. In fact, I was literally on TV channels at the end of the movie
Yeah.
telling everyone to like resist.
There was a wrist rock. We should go find that, maybe bring it back.
I learned to fly, but I've not
Yeah.
been doing that for
No.
reasons.
I have an invisible jet. That's how I got here. You want to ride? See, feels so hollow.
Yeah, this is the first time in the whole movie that we're seeing any people give a shit about Superman, and I don't like. See if there were some faces in this crowd of people who doubted him earlier on,
Yeah.
that'd be something. That'd be something. That'd be some sort of turn. You seek this monument, look around you. Right.
That feels very Death of Superman.
Mm-hmm.
So it's probably from a panel.
Very possibly.
Mm-hmm.
Does this end on Lex like laughing and not
I
laughing, but
I believe so because he teases the new gods.
what's so fair about this is how little I've noticed any of the new stuff. I really haven't noticed what's new at
Yeah.
all. And so to anyone who says that the Ultimate Edition will change your opinion on it, now admittedly yes, I've been talking over it, but nothing is fundamentally changed. Scenes might have more room to breathe. There's maybe more establishing shots, but there's really not that much new in terms of like real concrete
No.
stuff.
I forgot all about all of this.
Oh, that's right. He comes to Brand.
Yeah.
So much for Batman's arc in this. He's still branding
Yeah.
people.
Batman's arc's a straight line. I I hate him.
Jesse Eisenberg's good in certain roles, but he was not made
Yeah.
for Lex Luthor.
No.
All these mannerisms, the way he plays him as this neurotic guy, his little quivers and nose twitches. Lex is I actually feel gravitas when Lex Luthor's in the
Yep.
room. Lex should be able to command a crowd until he's proven wrong. I don't know.
Yeah. And even then, he spins it.
Does he brand
So
them?
he's
Maybe
referring to the
does
mother box,
yeah.
right?
Does he brand the wall instead? I can't remember. Maybe there is like a. He does. Yeah, he brands the wall. Okay,
Yeah.
slight arc. There is a slight arc. He is changed slightly.
Would have been great if he just would have branded his forehead.
What? So it could match the damage tattoo on Joker.
Yeah.
He's had the slightest of arcs. He's no longer branding people.
See, my Lex would have tried to prevent Darkseid from coming,
Yeah, it's not turned into his
not invite
Renfield.
him. Yeah. Oh dear.
I literally don't remember what the final moment of this movie is. Like, what is the final
No, I
shot?
don't
I
either.
don't know. Then we're back at the
Oh, I
grave.
remember now. I remember now.
Oh yeah, the dirt like sort of starts to
It's the
levitate.
dirt, which makes no sense even after you've seen Justice League because he's a corpse when they dump him into that water.
He is, yes, he's not alive. Yeah. Uh, I was going to say why is the S not in the coffin, but this is the Clark grave, not the Superman grave.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
You did what I did with the flag.
yeah. I had to think about this.
Yeah.
Firefly, calm down.
Why does the dirt levitate? Well, that was a movie I've experienced 3 times now.
I have now experienced it twice, and I never want to experience it again.
No,
I can't say I got anything. There was
in a
like
long history of bad ideas, this might have been my worst.
I don't know. Like, and I know comments who like this, people who like this movie are going to say, "Well, you have to watch it and pay attention to it to get the difference." But
No, no, I don't.
I don't think I never want to experience this again. All this did was remind me of everything I hate about this movie.
Yep,
It's not as
100%.
it's not as technically as bad as Suicide Squad. Oh, we're hearing Matt's movie.
Yeah,
Matt, come on, copyright.
yeah, yeah.
It's
My fault.
it's not as bad on a technical level as Suicide Squad 2016. Suicide
No.
Squad is like is almost something you can show in film show to show how to mess a movie up by editing poorly.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, 100%.
but
I remember looking at Ashley, and she looked at me and goes, "I have no idea what's going on," and I go, "I don't either. It's a mess."
mm-hmm, yeah. Oh, Ezra Miller is like 10 minutes down the cast list.
Yep.
Very good.
Just as the Flash. No Barry Allen.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
I mean that's whatever.
yeah.
Oh, this must
I
be an
mean,
order of appearance because Kevin Costner's just getting a credit now. Yeah, this must just be an order of
yeah. You also Joe Morton with Silas, Cyborg.
yeah.
Yeah.
Lana. I guess Lana and Pete
Apparently
were
she's
at the
supposed to be at
funeral. Yeah.
the funeral. Pete Ross as well.
Oh well. I guess they were there.
Yeah. I mean, makes sense. They'd be at the funeral for Clark Kent.
Mm-hmm.
I just started when I was working out last week, and I haven't had time to go back, but I started Superman the Animated Series
Oh sure.
because I haven't seen it in forever. And the Lois and Clark stuff in the second, or Lana and Clark stuff in the second episode is really, really nice. So
It's been a while for
I'm
me.
looking forward to revisiting.
That was one I never saw as a kid, but I bought the
Yeah.
DVDs when I was like
Mhm.
18 or something like that, and wanted to check them
Yeah.
out. I am because they weren't available here. Like none of the season sets for any of the
Yeah.
animated shows came out in the UK. So I imported the DVDs for Batman, Superman, Justice League.
Yeah.
Uh, the only thing that ever came out here is eventually I think the full Batman Blu-ray animated series is
Nice.
available in the UK, but that's the only one that's available directly. Like everything else has to be imported.
Yeah. Well,
Luckily,
now they're all on
all,
HBO Max.
yeah,
So.
all the Blu-rays are region free anyway, so it's not really a big deal.
Right.
But
Well, that's good.
but yeah, I should watch the Superman animated series again. I do
Yeah.
remember like I remember the one complaint I had about that animated series from memory was that he did feel a little bit just too weak. Like bizarrely, they went in the opposite
Yeah.
direction where it felt like he was getting punched around a lot more than I typically expect
Gotcha.
Superman to. But that was like it. That was like the minor complaint, and then like Lois was solid. Like all the characters, it was nice to
Yeah.
have a show that would go through the Superman rogues gallery, and but not compromise them because it was fun having Lois and Clark, but they were never going to do like a proper Brainiac or a proper Mixie or
No.
stuff. But animated series can just do
They were
it.
there. Right. Yeah. It's so far through the pilot, it's just as good as I remember. Weirdly, I was way more about Batman Beyond, so I've seen that, own that way more. So
I've never seen all about. I've seen a chunk of Batman Beyond, but I've never done the whole thing.
from what I remember, now it's been a while since I've watched them all. From what I remember, it definitely holds up. So One of the first things I showed my wife when we got together, when we were just dating, was the Out of the Past episode. Ra's al Ghul. It's one of my favorite Batman episodes, like period. There's that one, and then from Batman the Animated Series, the Almost Got Him, which is just the villains sitting around sharing stories of how they almost got Batman. Um, really, really exciting stuff. But which makes me want to rewatch Superman because I don't have a favorite episode. Like, I don't remember it as much. I don't think it was on as much as Batman or Justice League or any of those at the same time, you know. So, but yeah, so a lot of people that worked on this movie.
Yeah, I was just reading up the set dressers' names and going, yeah, you're all culprits too. Everyone's culpable. Everyone on this list.
Yeah.
Shostaskovich Waltz 2. I assume that was at the fancy like dinner party, or
Yeah.
not dinner party, but the gallery thing they all went to.
The gala. Yeah. Now we're on the VFX vendors.
I don't know what a VFX vendor is specifically, but
Me neither, because those two don't seem to go together. You know. There's a lot of them though.
I mean, I'm sure these are all just VFX people. I mean, that's what it boils
Right.
down to. Just fancy terminology for
Yeah.
visual effects people.
Definitely.
Yeah. I mean, as far as fail statements go, I mean, I feel like at this point, Snyder's DC movies, I'm like all talked out at this point. But, between the Snyder cut, live stream, and then the review, and then doing this commentary, like I am ready to never talk about Snyder's DC movies ever again.
100%. I'm done. You know, I might talk with friends that I trust about them, but other than that, I've said all I've had to say without me sounding like a bitter fool.
Other
You know.
than when I'm talking about other things, maybe like referencing
Yeah.
them sporadically, but like I'm good to not talk about these again for a long time. And
Yeah.
hopefully there's not a reason to.
Definitely.
As long as they don't do anything stupid like reinstate the Snyderverse, I
Yes.
won't have to care
Yeah.
or think about it ever again.
Yeah. I just hope they all move on. You know, I'm ready for whatever's next.
Oh,
You know,
Shade does some
whatever
of the
that
visual
is.
effects. It's nice to get giving some DC villains a
Ooh,
chance to
yeah.
get involved.
Yeah.
Oh, Matt, your mic's gone.
Huh?
I've almost made it. Almost made it to the end without it happening again.
Yeah. I know they canceled the Trench and the New Gods. You know. Oh,
Oh,
look at that.
special thanks. Frank Miller, Dan Juggins, Jim Aparo.
Yeah.
I'm just looking for names. John Byrne, Jerry Conway, Gardner Fox,
Gardner Fox, Jim Lee,
Jim Lee, George
George
Perez, Jerry
Perez,
Ordway, Jim
Len Wein.
Starlin, Len Wein, Marv Wolfman.
Mark.
These are all comic book people that they recognizing the names
Yes.
of here. For anyone who doesn't know, all those names we just read are the ones we recognized in a special thanks because they're all comic book writers or artists.
Jurgens definitely up there because of how much Death of Superman, right? Like that's why he
Definitely,
was.
yeah. God, I can't believe it's been 5 years since this.
Yeah.
I can't
I
believe it.
remember we were coming back from the Central Coast of California and seeing the reviews pour in and just being like, what is going on? Because the first reviews that came out were positive, you know?
The first the Twitter reactions and stuff like that. They were like,
Yeah.
"Oh, Batman Superman is a special thing," and blah blah. And
Yeah.
it's what taught me to never trust the early social media reactions ever again.
100%. And I was getting worried because I'm like, oh, am I going to have to eat crow? And no. I was very well justified.
It was
So,
it was a worst case scenario basically for
yep.
I think for us. So obviously the movie's done now. Credits are
Yes.
done. We're ready to wrap up. So I will just thank everyone for joining us. Hopefully our rambles while the movie played was so entertaining. We veered off a little towards the end, but I think that's to be expected in the 3 hour
Yeah.
runtime.
You can't fault us for that.
Yeah. So this was a one-time special thing because of the goal. Now, does that mean that there won't be future goals for other commentaries and one-off specials?
Mm-hmm.
Very possibly. Not necessarily
Yeah.
charity things, but maybe I'll talk Matt into doing something at some point, just for
Yeah.
the fun of it.
Something more fun and not 3 hours of my night because now like my day's shot, man.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I gotta go eat dinner and shower and get ready for work tomorrow.
Yeah,
So
a nice regular
yeah.
sub 2 hour experience.
Something
But
fun. Maybe around Halloween we can maybe do something with Jason. You
Uh,
know, maybe Michael.
something fun.
You know, the usual suspects.
So there you go. That has been our commentary track for Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. So,
Yep.
you could usually I'll say let us know what you thought of the movie in the comments. I'll be honest, I don't care what you think of the movie.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
please do like and subscribe.
Especially because this might make its way to other people that we just don't want to hear from. So you know,
So yeah,
I don't know if this is a Patreon only thing or
it's
what.
not. No, this is something that's good
Yeah.
out to everyone. Uh,
Yeah. So definitely, comments might be shut off. I think that's the smart
no,
move.
they won't. They won't. But I mean,
Dang.
I'm just not encouraging it. But like and subscribe. That helps us out a lot on YouTube. You can also,
Yes,
of course,
please.
go to patreon.com/MailFuzzTV, support us financially for as little as $1 per month and get some bonuses and help keep all the content coming. But otherwise, that is us. So thank you for joining us. If you're sick of hearing about these movies, I'm pretty much sick of talking about them at this point. So no worries there. We'll see you next time for whatever we do next. But look forward to the DC Comics podcast. We should probably mention that actually. Me and Matt are on
Yeah.
Comics from the Multiverse, where we talk about the new DC Comics every week, along with Connor. Although Connor's missing this week's episode, but because sometimes the universe gives me a gift, and
Oh man.
this week that is that gift. So thank you once again for watching or listening. We always appreciate it. Keep watching movies, and if you can get it, it's always nice to have diplomatic immunity.